Ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio Nut Hut studios, it's time for the very first ever Southern...
There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no West. There is only one holistic system of systems. One vast and immane, interwoven, interacting, multivariate, multinational dominion of dollars. Petrodollars, electrodollars, multi-dollars, Reichmarks, Rins, rubles, pounds, and shekels. It is the international system of currency which determines the totality of life on this planet. That is the natural order of things today. That is the atomic and subatomic and galactic structure of things today.
It's Friday night. Mine's Jimmy. And in to the microcosm is all the act.
There's something wrong with the world today. The light bulb's getting dim. There's meltdown in the sky. If you can judge a wise man by the color of his skin, then mister, you're a better man than I. Living on the edge, you can't let yourself go far. Living on the edge, you can't let yourself go far. Living on the edge, you can't let yourself go far. Living on the edge. Tell me what you think about your situation. Complication.
Epic Journeyman. Are you there?
I am here.
Excellent.
That's a long swim. I'm here to tell you, man.
Bet.
This looks a short swim on the map.
Oh, yeah.
You down on the Maui? It's a ways, man. It's a ways.
Speaking of Maui, I got some Maui Wowie.
Oh, nice.
Believe it or not. Believe it or not. So far, Rocket Rio is missing in action, and I know there was a big rainstorm on the East Coast, New Jersey, parts of New York. Subways were underwater, I think, at some point. So I have not heard from him since then, and I have not heard from him tonight. So we're flying under the radar because we can't hook up to Revolution Radio. So we're here on YouTube, we're here on Ground Zero Plus and the replay. And Epic Journeyman's here, I'm here, you're here, and there's so much going on. It's almost...
It is amazing, man.
Like
it is.
It's like a blur. It's like a blur at this point.
I am, for once, like, just, well, I haven't channel surfed in years. And I'm channel surfing, like watching the way everybody's responding. I mean, you do it online, of course, right? But I mean, like actually, like the networks and what's on cable news and things like that. And all of a sudden, all of us air quotes conspiracy theorists, right, are all the talk, all the time, everywhere. Like it is totally mainstream. I feel like I did when the Mandela effect went mainstream, when all of a sudden it wasn't just like the little corner of the internet, you know, and people discovered it, right? That's what's going on here. And the thing that's interesting is like the different aspects people are looking at it from. Like, you know, like it is something else, man. And it is not going away. It is not going to go away anytime soon.
No, it's not going away. It's probably, I mean, it is so blatant that it just does not seem like a mistake.
No.
Like it seems like whatever ramifications are supposed to happen and will happen as a result. I mean, you could put it into one of these AI agents and probably find out, put any scenario in there, just like the sentient world simulation. Just put a scenario in there. What would happen if such and such blah? And
You think they ran it? It may be. They might have. I mean, why wouldn't they? Right?
I'm just saying, no one would make after all that. Okay, after fucking 8 years. Okay, to get here, to get back there, and after all that, to have this happen. So it doesn't. So let me ask you a question, Epic German. Now, if there was some shit in there, wouldn't the other administration have used that against him already to get rid of him? So there's no way he could have even remotely thought about ever running for president again if they had some shit on this dude. Wouldn't they have already?
I think it's just a matter of worldview. So Comey, the FBI lead at the time, that got fired, right? And then his daughter got fired on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Who was leading the Epstein investigation and the Maxwell investigation that convicted her, and also the P. Diddy conviction, right? So she gets fired, and she has all these files, right? But if you listen to James Comey, he's like this Boy Scout. He's this total Boy Scout, no, we got to follow the rules and everything. We got to protect the innocent that aren't charged. We got to redact all the names. We got to do all this stuff, right? And then even though he's the one who revealed all this stuff right, 3 days before the election or whatever with Clinton at the time, which totally screwed the election up. I mean, one way or another, however you look at it, he absolutely influenced the election by doing that. And you say, well, but if they're doing it that way, right? Then some people have these rules we don't understand the same way they do. Like, well, we're not gonna reveal things, So there are old school people like that. There are all the old school FBI from Dragnet, just the facts, ma'am, kind of people out there. And so those people, they're gonna follow the rules, And so maybe they would. I mean, I think that's believable because it's flimsy. Some of this stuff. It's not just because Trump happened to be there all this time. Is it something to prove in a court of law?
So now, so here's another theory that's floating around out there. There's another theory. It's not what I think. Okay, I'm just telling you guys what I've been seeing and hearing. The other thing is Trump's doing this all on purpose to get the Democrats to pressure the release of the information because the most of what's in there is liberal people, and they're the ones that are going to get caught up. And some of the names that got mentioned were actually the person didn't mention the name, but what the person said was a former first lady who ran for president.
Right, like AOC said, the convicted felon or sex abuser.
Yeah,
it's the same kind of thing. Not mentioning a name, but alluding to, so you can't get in trouble for defamation that way. Well, I mean, the thing is, there really is a lot of there. I mean, he was best buddies with him for 15 years. Trump was. I mean, he was filmed with him all the time. He did get those birthday gifts from him. They talk about the Wall Street Journal. He did. All these things are real. I mean, he did do all of a sudden, it just makes people look back over history, the things that people thought, well, he's trying to expose a deep state. He had to go undercover, And it's like, well, that's why we accept, or not so we, but the people who do this. Well, it's okay for the audio, from the grabbing tape coming out from Access Hollywood, acting like that. It's okay for nobody believed he didn't really sleep with Stormy Daniels. Well, maybe he did, but it's okay because he was deep undercover like James Bond, trying to expose all this stuff. And the more you look at it, it's like, no, he's just a horn dog and he's involved. That's what it is. Probably it is. He acts really guilty, man. He acts really guilty. Now, if that's a show, that's a hell of a show, man.
Well, here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. If in fact there's anything in there, right? The point is that we were told that I can't answer that call, man. Anyways, we were told that it didn't exist, and the other day all of a sudden it's not an issue, it doesn't exist, and then he said anybody who believes in it they're
stupid.
They're weak.
Yeah.
No, what he said was weaklings, and I don't need your support. And I thought that was,
incredible. Actually, yeah. I mean, I've never heard it. I've never seen that happen with somebody who had a political coalition like he had. I say had because I don't know if he still has it. Right to do that. That is it was amazing. It really is. I don't know what else to say about it other than it was amazing. I don't get it. I mean, I'm sure, you know, either he didn't think it through, which it's him, so maybe not, or if he did think it through, he thought wrong. I mean, I heard somebody make an explanation that I kind of bought into, and it was that he only follows mainstream media primarily. Like he follows Fox News and Newsmax and those other outlets and stuff like that. And he has a big media consumption. TV's on all the time, and so he's seeing what's getting reported. And so he's not into the little, you know, dark circles. I won't say dark, but like we all are, you know, deep in the internet, you know, seeing all these chat rooms and people talking on social media. I mean, he sees what's on Truth Social and what's on Twitter, but what other people are saying maybe aren't in his group, and doesn't understand like how deep his support was in these little niche spaces, right? Like I can compare it to Mandela effect, right? Like for the people who were there before it got popular, people knew what it was only 21,000 people, whatever, when I joined, right? That's still a lot of people. It's like 500,000 now. What you know, beyond that, all the people know about it now. It's mainstream, right? So he's seeing like an equivalent of a mainstream broadcast. He's not seeing where most of his support really is. And most of his support really is in these circles of QAnon and the patriot movement and the sovereign citizen movement, all these things. They all kind of coalesce together. And that's where his real support is. The most ardent supporters of him are from there. And he doesn't seem to really know. He acknowledges QAnon sometimes, but I don't think he knows the rest. I don't think he does. And how much of this was Epstein was their go-to, right? For a lot of those people. Well, we'll accept all this other stuff because when the list comes out, it'll prove us right. We supported him. We were right this whole time. You guys were wrong. We'll show all you liberals or whatever you are, right? People, you know, they're calling them stupid at the time, or, you know, they had a problem with. And all of a sudden, that'll be their comeuppance. That'll be their, you know, vindication, right? And you take that away from those people, you just pull the rug out from under them, man. That is not going to hit well with those people. And I say those people like, you know, all of us who are somewhat in that corner, right?
Those people.
It's always, and it's never going to go away, right? Because what's that guy's name? The guy on the morning show that had the scraggly hair and stuff. He was like 70 years old, but a long time talk show, and he said those people. And he said nappy-headed hose.
Nappy-headed hose, yeah.
Yeah, I forget his name now, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, instantly dead. I mean, to the media, gone overnight, right? Yeah.
Well, apparently Joe Rogan's dead now too, because what he said around this thing. So this thing is, like I said earlier, what's the word I'm looking at? A catalyst, right? It's a catalyst. It's bringing all these things together, and some of it's explosive, and some of it just makes a good gourmet meal. But the explosive part is affecting everybody. So Lutkin, we pointed this out at the very beginning of this administration. We pointed out there were quite a few people around and in the Trump administration that had direct correlation and connection to Epstein. For example, Lutnick. So here's Epstein lives in number 9 and Lutnick lives in number 11. Seriously, what? It's like how could that even happen in real life? It seems like it's like written. It's like made up. It's like a soap opera detail. It's crazy the amount of detail around these people and what's going on here. Whether or not he the thing is lots of people want to throw accusations around, but like I keep saying, man, they were going after him so bad that if there was anything that could have destroyed him, they definitely would have used it against him to keep him from getting in there, unless he was supposed to get in there the whole time. And we obviously don't know what's in there. But what about this? Now, there's talk. Now, I'm not saying I haven't seen his bank accounts, and I have not seen the money moving in and out, but there's quite a bit of money been moving in and out of Jeffrey Epstein's bank accounts since he's been dead. Like in and out.
Well, more than that, Satoshi Nakamoto, whatever his name is, right? That missing however many tens of thousands of Bitcoin just got cashed in today or yesterday and put on a different exchange. I mean, that's a big deal. And so, because one of my theories has always been that he was involved in the creation of Bitcoin, Epstein, right? That's what got him in this place in the first place, because those people were trying to hide their money. So when Les Wetzman recruited him, who recorded him was Barr's father at the Dalton School as a teacher. He had no credentials to be there. But in the case of Wexner, who's Victoria's Secret guy and Abercrombie and Fitch and all that stuff is where he made his fortune, and gave the mansion to Epstein for $1, right? And gave all his money, control of all his money to Epstein to control, right? Because he knew how to hide money. Well, how do you know how to hide money? And what exactly is that Zorro Ranch in New Mexico with the genetic manipulation and all that stuff? And what about all the scientists who went there? And what about the high-tech aspect of all this? And what about the fact that Lex Wexman just made almost $3 billion yesterday by
Bruce, are you on here?
Check this out. Going into artificial intelligence with a company that was controlled by Epstein, that his children were given their control of their inheritance through Epstein originally. I mean, it's a pretty big deal, man. It is. Like you say, all these people are cashing in. They're all cashing in right now. Why are they cashing in right now? And why is this all coming up right now?
Well, it
of all
happened.
times.
There was a big transfer that happened a couple weeks ago. So I'm not sure if something big happened today, but I'm pretty sure it was last Friday or the Friday before that there was a big movement. But I mean, as far as Epstein and Bitcoin goes, I wouldn't be thinking in those terms personally. I would think that maybe, yeah, he moved money in there and made money.
He knew people. Yes, yeah, that's what I think too. I don't think he made it.
No,
I think that
because they're saying BTC means beta test coin, and so BTC and Bitcoin was the first XRP or Ripple off the Ripple ledger. There's lots of talk that those are the people. Yeah, I've been trying to call Bruce and it just disconnects. I don't know why I can't get it.
I heard the phone ring from somebody.
No, that was me. I tried to call him.
Oh, that's me calling Bruce. Okay.
Yeah, but it just disconnects immediately.
It's probably the AI from Les Wexman.
So the thing is if he calls and I pick up the call, it's going to drop your call, right?
You have to rejoin.
And then you'll have to start all over again with your audio, like we did.
I'm gonna try.
I'll try him again here in a second. But the thing is that there's big stuff going on, obviously, and we're going to be joining Ground Zero Plus at 10 o'clock Pacific. And so, but what I will say is there's big stuff going on right now because obviously, I don't know if you watched. Did you watch the vote on the Genius Act?
Which one?
On the Genius Act.
No, I was working. I heard about it.
Hang on a second. I can't take his call, man.
Can I take his call? I don't think so. I hear him, but I can't.
Can you? Hang on. You there? Hello? I don't know what happened. Now I'm not on the call with Epic anymore. You there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I answered him and I can't hear. I don't know. Anyway,
try this.
You try to add him if you can.
Yes, I maximize the window. Yeah. So
anyhow,
all you Teams pros, you can maybe say something in the chat. We're trying to figure this out. How to add people like Skype. It's daunting.
Just add him, man. We don't need the play-by-play. Just try to add him.
Yeah. Doing it.
All right. So anyhow, the Genius Act passed yesterday, which was a big deal in America because we are definitely moving in that direction. Let me see if Epic can make this happen here before I start launching into something else.
No, all I have is the option to leave. I don't apparently have the option to add anybody because I'm not hosting the meeting.
Hang on a second. Yeah. Hold on. So this is going to happen anyways. That it did all this shit to avoid this from happening.
Right. Well, we've got half hour, so 9 minutes is going to drop us anyway. So, yeah. We'll be here on YouTube, but yeah.
So I can't add you to the call. So you can call us at 831-337-8711.
There he is.
He's not in the call. You can call this number 831-337-8711, Bruce. Call that number. All right, well, enjoy the show coming to a fucking grinding halt again. Hello.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Hey, it's Specimen, brother. How are you?
I'm good. What's happening?
Hey, I think on Teams you should be able to create a group chat on there.
All right. Hey,
and add
thanks.
Like you
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Let me
No,
jump. Let me
I'm
jump off.
just-
Let me jump off here. So if he's going to call in, he can call in. I can't take two calls. at the
yeah,
same
but
time.
you should be able to do a group chat real quick and then add everybody like Cat, Rio.
Yeah,
all
except
those
for the
people, and
thing
then you
is
should be-
there's a whole thing going on before that you don't understand, and that is that we have to get the audio set in the call before we go on
But
there.
I use Team chats for work every day for 5 days a week and don't have this issue. Not to be a dick, but I'm just trying to help you, man.
Well, we appreciate it, but what I'm trying to tell you is if the call is on, we can't adjust the audio when we take a call. Appreciate the help, man. I know how to start a group call. I tried to call him. It's not connecting him to the call. That's what's going on. So appreciate the help. You there, Epic? You're on hold? I think Epic's on hold. Let's see if I can get this to work. No, it's not working. I appreciate you giving us a call, Specimen. It's not that. It's not what you're suggesting. There's a whole other thing going on over here. These guys aren't connecting to the call, so it's a group call. So it's not ringing on their end. All right, well, that's the way it goes, I guess.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was on hold. You know what it is. I think we have to link it through Microsoft, right, to a calendar invite for a meeting.
No, I mean, I created a call. I called. There was a call that we already had. I tried to call you guys on that. I tried.
Well, there's
to
a
call,
meeting for
I tried
Bruce
to
and Jimmy
call,
that
right,
ended.
I know.
Yep.
Right. So I tried to call you guys on that. I tried to call you individually. I tried to call Bruce individually, and nothing's connecting from my end. Hello.
Hey,
Hey, what's happening?
how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
What's up, Bruce? Tell him make mountains.
Yeah, it's Bruce.
Oh, it's Bruce. Okay. What's happening?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
We're doing all right. What's going on?
We're loving Microsoft. That's what we're doing. We're loving Microsoft right now.
Yeah, man, that Teams just ain't cutting it, is it, man? I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, it's not. It's not. And the thing
Anyways,
is, I've been doing this. I've been doing this. No, I've been doing this for like 15 years, and every fucking Friday night for 15 years I've been doing this. And ever since this whole thing has started, it's turned everything into shit. Literally. I mean, we have problems every single week, and it's to the point where like I've really had it, man, with it. Because we sit here and put a bunch of time into coming on here and want to get things, put on a good show for people and stuff, and this stuff continually happening over and over again. It's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Really frustrating. But irrespective of that, no, we were talking about what's been going on with this week with Trump, and
yeah.
So, what do you think about that, Bruce? Jump in. I'm gonna go grab a quick cup of coffee. I'll be right back here. What are you thinking about this thing, Bruce? Now, I was saying that it's too detrimental for it to be accidental. This is like a sort of like a political suicide on some levels.
Yeah, that's where I'm going too. That he's probably lost like 95% of his base now. Right? I don't see how he can be defended anymore. I mean, Alex Jones can't even defend. Yeah. At
least 70%. I mean, a lot. Yeah, it was real base. It's true bases. He's lost a lot of them.
It's 9D chess, boys. It'll all be.
Yeah, 9D chess. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, I just muted.
No, Bruce, it sounded like Bruce. Something happened to Bruce.
We said 9D chess, and is he still there?
No.
Man, you can't say 9D chess. See what happens?
What the fuck?
I don't mean to laugh.
What just happened?
That is kind of funny. That is kind of funny. He didn't do anything. He was just in the middle of talking. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, he was here. He was here. Now he's not.
No, he's still on the line.
He did. I'm sure he didn't change any settings.
There he is.
There he is.
This is high weirdness.
See what
high weirdness.
I know, man.
It is. It is, right?
What the
wow. This is some black magic shit going on here.
That's what it seems like, man. Seriously, I mean, you're not even on Teams. You're on Zoom.
Well, the second hour, I was going to bring that up about the magic. Maybe we can get into it now, Bruce. I don't know. It's. I don't mean to talk over you, but yeah, I really think there's a lot to that, and that's what the secret, what do you call it? The something secret. Yeah, it'll come to me in a second. But in the text, it's probably all about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems like something just wants to destroy the heart of America. There's nothing left. The left is for shit. The right is for shit. It's like, and all of that intentional energy put into Trump, all of that hope, and he squanders it like unbelievable, man. I mean, we're all cabinet contractors in New York now for kitchens, right? Where's
yeah, exactly. We just got ripped off the Trump Tower,
buddy. Yeah, I mean, he's in real danger, and he's getting more and more crazy. Like, I don't think you have the right to revoke the citizenship of Rosie O'Donnell. She was born in the United States, But if you can't do it, why say it? Why feed the mania of someone like Bill Maher, who's going to, run the football field 10 times with a statement like that?
Good thing he's on vacation till I think September or late August. Yeah, he's on vacation right now, or he'd be all over this, man.
And they canceled Bill
Stephen Colbert. Yeah, for May next year. Yep, runs through May last season.
So and still selling weapons to NATO to give to Ukraine. the peacemaker. I guess peace doesn't matter if there's a bit of money to be made, but
yeah, and the nuclear capable missiles that he's saying he's going to give them. How does Russia know there's no nuke on there? I mean, he was the one saying it was World War III. Biden was giving these weapons as World War III. Now all of a sudden, what, World War III is okay now? I guess, or maybe
he's giving them slams and tomahawks. Slams are the air launched cruise missiles from F-16s. And they have like a really long range, and tomahawks actually go like 2,000 miles or more. They had to limit it from SALT 2. Things still go 1,000 miles. Those things, man, that's what we launch from submarines all the time. Like just in Iran, just 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we're giving them those. I'm all for it personally because I do want to see Putin reined in. But yeah, you're right to object about the fact because Ukraine said, not Zelensky, people inside Ukraine said. And it made the news, not the mainstream news, but made it in our little, dark corners of the internet here. That they're starting a nuclear program again because they feel that's the only way to stop Putin. Not to actually use them, but because they made the nukes to begin with. The warheads and the missiles, all the industrial center of the Soviet Union back in the day was based in Ukraine. Those scientists, they're still around. Those skilled workers who worked in those factories and milled all those things in the at the time in those factories, they're still around in Ukraine. And so it's a real threat. And I don't think that, they thought this through over in Russia, actually, how this is going to end up looking in the short term, they thought it out, but not in the long term. I mean, once Ukraine gets industrialized again, because they're building the weapons, the Western weapons in Ukraine. They have deals with France, they have deals with us, they have deals with the half of NATO right now to build them in Ukraine. Build our weapons, their weapons in Ukraine. Combine that with their scientists who had the nuclear technology and know how to begin with, and all of a sudden you have a real, nuclear power in the central part of Europe that we don't have control of anymore because we didn't let them in NATO, right? I mean, yeah, nobody's thought this through.
Or have they? Yeah. Or have they? I mean, everything, like I was saying, Epstein lived in number 9 and Lutnick lived in number 11. That's the level of detail that's going on in this accidental happenings that are going on in the world. I mean, can you believe that, Bruce?
No. I can, but it's disturbing.
It's just disturbing on a level that's like, it's a detail that someone would put in a script to make the story interesting. It's not. It's so crazy that it's the actual thing. Like it's almost.
Well, I mean. Let's just speak it aloud so that we all know we're talking about the same thing. Am I crazy, or does it seem like the Western leaders of the Western world, including Trump now, are hell-bent in destroying this world? It's everybody has suddenly been conscripted to messianic prophecy. The Sanhedrin version. The old world has to die before the new world can come.
Out of the ass.
And I know that sounds trite and ridiculous, but you show me anywhere else in society something being said aloud that is more accurate for what's happening right now.
No.
Well, we are absolutely on the verge of World War III, 100%. No doubt about it. I mean, because Russia's never been more open to being destroyed. I mean, that's the thing. Like in China, to the nip it in the bud, so to speak, right? Take them out now. That there's a philosophy out there. Like it's like Dr. Strangelove all over again, right? In a way, we're going to go in our bunkers. We're going to just survive it, and we're going to do this right now because we can. I mean, I feel like George C. Scott's out there, promoting everything. Yeah.
Could we get away with that, or would we not just get tagged by China and North Korea and whoever else could get a nuclear bomb over to the U.S.? Or do they not even care if the U.S. gets hit? Is U.S. depopulation part of the plan too?
Well, the Yellowstone's showing up again. Like they're talking about the super eruption, starting to find its way back into popular culture writings again. And I think that in a way, it's like we're gonna America's going to be in a cloud of dust anyway. So why not, right? I mean, I kind of think that there's a philosophy that's just starting to take hold of get it done now while you can, right? Like because. There's no question what happened with Iran. I don't think people understand. They had S-400 missiles there, anti-missile, ballistic missile, not just ballistic missile, but anti-missile and anti-aircraft defenses here. The best in the world outside of America. or the S-400 missile systems made by Russia, and they got completely defeated by Israel, and our stealth bombers flew in there and eliminated everything, not necessarily destroyed everything they wanted to, but no problem at all, right? That means we could do it to Russia. That's what that means. And it's not lost on the people in NATO here in America, the war hawks, like, just name one, there's so many, all the neocons and everything. 100%. It's open skies as far as we're concerned. We can do whatever we want. The only thing we have to worry about is those tsunami torpedoes. But we sink that submarine, we sink the Belgorod, the submarine that carries those Poseidon torpedoes, then there's no threat there either. So sink it. That's what they're saying. I guarantee you, in those rooms right now, the Joint Chiefs of Staff are writing up their plans, and they're saying, you know what, we can do it. I guarantee you they're thinking about it. Not because they're paid to think about it. They always think about it. But I mean, this might be the time they're actually thinking of doing it. You do it now, then China has to back off because they're worried about China's drones and the robots. They're worried about it. They should be, right? There's this massive manufacturing complex that can put these, autonomous AI-controlled slaughter bots out there. And the next thing you know, that's we've seen that's the face of warfare in the future. But if you intimidate the hell out of them by taking out their allies now, you take out North Korea, you take out Russia, and leave only China, to think about it, then who's left? It's Turkey and India, right? And they'll come along. That's what they're thinking. I guarantee that's what they're thinking.
Well, I mean, if something like that happened, I think maybe Turkey, maybe India would go after China.
Well,
I mean, it's not going to be some.
They might.
Yeah, it's going to be once the bombs start flying, then everybody doesn't give a shit anymore, right? I mean, at that point. In other words,
it becomes survivability, right? It becomes who can hold the most in reserve for after.
So I don't think there's any surviving it. I mean, have you guys read the work of or seen Annie Besant interviewed on any significant podcasts? She's written about nuclear war in a fairly detailed way.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that once it kicks off, the world will be uninhabitable in 30 minutes. Right? There's no such thing as a limited nuclear war. All it would take is a certain number of missiles to be sent out to create a nuclear winter that would shroud the whole Earth.
Oh, you could just drop one on the Yellowstone, and then everything would cascade. No, yeah, I see. It's totally true. That's what I mean. We're not in. I mean, we don't seem to be in a world where people are going to all sit down at a table and figure everything out. It seems like the only way anything's going to get figured out is if somebody gets a bomb dropped on them.
Well, the potential for an accident is so big, right? Like we used to worry in the Cold War that an asteroid or minor meteoroid hit, but it was the equivalent of 20 kilotons, whatever damage would start World War III because they would think they were hit by a preemptive strike and then just start firing missiles. But now we're in a situation where what about Yellowstone going off in the heartland of America? What a lot of people don't understand is all of our ballistic missile sites, land-based ballistic missile sites, are based in central United States because they're far enough from the coast to be protected by our THAAD missile systems, anti-ballistic missile systems. That's why they're there, right? All of a sudden, this big explosion takes out Yellowstone. Who's to say it wasn't a nuclear explosion? When you look at the seismology reports, initially coming in the Department of Defense, over in Cheyenne Mountain, or what? Who's to say? This is the one that people really have to worry about. Now that we have those Poseidon missiles threatening us from Russia, right? Those 100 megaton tsunami torpedoes. Well, all of a sudden, that just a regular earthquake that we know is going to happen someday anyway, is going to cause a massive tsunami in Seattle and take out Seattle it's only 7 minutes. You don't have time to get away, right? They know where the fault line is. It's only 7 minutes basically before it starts hitting. They're somewhere in that range. That's the last I read, I think. It might be more than that. I have a hard time believing it's 7 minutes, but that's what they said. Last one I read. Well, how are you going to know that's not the tsunami torpedo? How do you know it's not the Belgorod out there launching its tsunami, Poseidon torpedoes? Well, you don't, right? You have to respond. And we make AI take more responsibility for the times when humans are in a state of cognitive dissonance while trying to figure out what's going on and how to react. They're going to give that ability to fire back over to AI because it's going to have that human factor of that delay to make sure they have this retaliation, right? You have to.
Man,
they assume that the enemy does too.
I got a video of an AI-controlled laser that kills mosquitoes in your backyard. This thing spins around and literally shoots mosquitoes out of midair with a laser beam. You can buy it for your yard, to keep out mosquitoes. Literally, I'm not kidding. So, I mean, realistically, at this point, a nuclear bomb is probably like a flintlock. I mean, they don't need to drop a bomb, man. You know what I mean? At all. At all. But, I mean...
You know what it is? They don't need to drop a bomb. We just need to think they dropped the bomb. That's what it comes down to. It's psychological warfare taken to the next level. I mean, it can backfire in the hugest way possible by an actual nuclear war.
They have put so much time and energy into the near-term future, the technocratic future, that all relies on electricity. I don't see them destroying that, man. I don't see it unless they're going to destroy it because that's it and that's all. It's over. I don't know.
It's factions, right? Like. Remember in the Time Machine, H.G. Wells' Time Machine, the Morlocks went underground and became the technological advancing because engineers went underground because they tried to survive the apocalypse, right? And they did survive the apocalypse, and they fed on the Eloi at the top, and made them like passive like cattle, and farmed them like cattle. Well, what if that's the plan? Like this Metropolis in reverse, the elite go underground to come back and take over the Earth after, right?
Well, I think it was Catherine Austin Fitts said that they spent $7 trillion building an underground facility. I'm pretty sure it was her, Catherine Austin Fitts, the Solaris lady. Solari or whatever, I think is the name of her thing.
Solari, yeah. Well, I have pictures of Ellison's bunker. His bunker, not inside it, but whatever he's digging something underground. He's excavating on the backside of the Lanai.
Seriously,
he owns the island here. 90% of it.
The thing is, though, let me ask you: you're just some elite people that are on some list, and you're stoked about starting World War III so you can all go live in your bunkers? I don't fucking think so, man. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense.
It kind of does because okay. So let me break this hypothesis out. What I think it is that they built this system to go inhabit the stars, right? And they came up with these things, what we consider virtual reality now, but this augmented reality world, and to get them through the hibernation phase of their space travel. So they have this interactive world they live within, very much like the real world, almost indistinguishable from the real world, for the trip, basically. So they go in this state where they're in a reduced heartbeat, just enough to stay alive, but their brain's kept alive this entire time for the transit. And it turns out it's going to take too long. And they decided, you know what, we can do that to get rid of all this. Well, why go try to inhabit some star 100 light years away or more? It's going to take us 100 years to get there. When all we have to really do is purge the unwanted, unwashed masses from the Earth and just come back and make it a paradise when we come out of our hibernation. That's what they're doing. That's what I think they're up to.
Bruce, do you think this is a real scenario, or do you think this is just super? I mean, do you think that they're willing to destroy everything and go live in some bunkers down some cities under the ground? I mean, does that seem feasible at all? That you could have like millions of these people that are just going to somehow go down there and live and work? Like they're ready to go right now. You just get a ticket. You're sitting at your house, Bruce, and all of a sudden
they're not going to work, though.
You get a fucking email. It's time to go to the bunker. Now, Bruce, let's go.
It depends on what's down there. I don't know for sure. It's all rumor and urban mythology and smoke and mirrors, right?
Yeah,
and we know there's stuff under the ground. You want a creepy little factoid?
Yeah.
Have you guys gone on Google Maps and happened to notice how close Epstein's ranch in New Mexico was to the Dulce base?
Not really, no.
Look, man, this is the real reason they can't let this stuff out, right? Because this is like way beyond anything we're talking about. It is not just pedophilia. It ties into this whole, whatever you want to call it. I'm loath.
It's the boys from Brazil, man. It's genetic manipulation,
yeah,
and it's
World War II never really ended, and unless I'm crazy, I honestly think the Zionists and the Nazis made an alliance, and the technology which was discovered in the course of that war and the ensuing crisis has never been fully revealed to the public.
No.
And it's been running parallel to us. You can map it out all through the decades. I don't know if you guys, it broke a few months ago that Henry Kissinger was an Army intelligence officer at the age of 21 with the United States. And he was one of the first guys in the main Nazi weapons manufacturing sites, the real secret ones that they built right into mountains. And it's also come out that Henry Kissinger may have been the guy that formed Majestic 12 and started the secret space program.
The breakaway civilization, yeah. Yeah,
like
I think so, Bruce.
We are literally living in the shadow of a parallel civilization that no recognized man-made force, government or otherwise, on this planet can hold a candle to. It's like a human civilization that has jumped 1,000 years ahead in 80 years because of the technology they had access to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this Epstein stuff, and I think there's just so much going on here. I think it answers a lot of questions about what we call the extraterrestrial movement, whatever it might be, cloning, experimentation on human beings. I think hybridization is on the table.
That's Zora Ranch. That's what Zora Ranch was about. Absolutely, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
That's Epstein's ranch.
Yeah, we're in a completely unknown reality now, and the only remaining question is this force that Trump alleged to represent. Let's call them the moniker they prefer, the White Hats. What was their plan for defeating this force? I mean, how do you defeat a force like that? It would be like Neanderthals going up against modern warfare. It's not.
Yeah.
You're not gonna defeat the architects of reality, dude.
I have a question.
There's no defeating the architects of reality. They are the purveyors of the world we live in.
So for our audience in the chat and listening abroad and here in the panel, I think there's something we need to bring up, like the ritual that Aquino did allegedly with L. Ron Hubbard and JPL Labs guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? And all this stuff, right? His name escapes me at the moment, but yeah. So it was in New Mexico when they were doing the Trinity experiment. All this stuff was, and it wasn't Aquino. Aquino didn't do he's allegedly the star child from the ritual they're doing. It was L. Ron Hubbard and Ombre there. People in chat will help me out here.
What's his nuts?
Yeah, well, what's his nuts? But here's the thing, though. But the Trinity experiment was in New Mexico. The Roswell crash supposedly was in New Mexico. Zora Ranch from Epstein, where they're doing these genetic experiments like the boys from Brazil, and he's going to perpetuate this world. Jack Parsons, thank you. Yeah, Jack Parsons.
Mike Mont.
And I know a lot about him. That's why I was cracking up. I couldn't think of his name for a second there, brain lock. But the idea is all this stuff happens in New Mexico. Los Alamos is in New Mexico. All this stuff happened in Mexico. And I just want to ask the panel and everybody here, what's the name for the state, like on a license plate for New Mexico? What is it? What's it called? Oh, Land of Enchantment, isn't it? Land of Enchantment. Right? Think about it, man. They know. They're sticking it in our face. They know, right? It's magic. It's weaponized magic. That's what it is. All this is about that. Amplifying the magic, amplifying it, the power of intention. That's the secret. That's the wonderful secret that Trump was referring to in his note to Epstein. That's exactly what it is, right? that they say they're both in the know about. That's what it is. That's what I believe anyway. And the more I put it together, the things that I think I knew about this and looking at it for years, I think I'm right, and I think I'm right. I think as it more and more comes out, that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at a return to pre-industrialized world where the idea of ley lines and centers of power and the power of intention, the power of the will, and the manifestation of magic, what we call magic today, is actually a real thing. The reality distortion field that Steve Jobs talked about is absolutely real, and that is absolutely what they're discussing here. That is the power of Epstein and Trump in this case. That's why he has the star on the statue, his gold statue they made of him with the little stars as a mega, right? That's why. That's what mega means, right? That's exactly what it's all about. That's why they're revealing it. That's the secret.
Yeah.
I think it's a humiliation ritual.
Maybe.
For Trump. And, before he, launches into what the next thing is. Did you want to make a comment, Bruce? Because I had something to say about this whole Trump situation. Yeah, so, for me, I'm seeing the groundwork being laid for, the technocratic future. And I see J.D. Vance as a heartbeat away from the presidency. And I see Trump at this moment doing what's going on with this Epstein thing, but I also see simultaneously there's been health problems with Trump. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is that there was, I'm not saying it, I'm just saying there was talk on the internet that when this whole Israel attacking Iran situation happened, it was because there was an Iranian hack into a Mossad computer where they got Epstein files out.
Wow.
And that's what the bombing was all about. That's what some people said. I'm not saying it, but I'm just putting it out there because we don't know. How deep does the Epstein thing go? I bet it goes a lot deeper than most people think. And like I said, and like we said on the show, he's not the only corporation. He's just one of the franchises. And then you saw the Diddy franchise on trial. And then you go back to Comey. And then you go back to wondering, well, wait a minute, maybe that whole Pizzagate thing wasn't a hoax after all, was it?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Do you know how many people in the alternative media got caught up in that Pizzagate thing? There's people making documentaries about it, and then all of a sudden, everybody just reversed their course on it. Go ahead.
Well, I think Pizzagate was 100% real. Are you saying it wasn't?
No, I'm not. But then all of a sudden, there became this thing in the alternative media where if you said anything about it, it was bait and it wasn't real. And if you said anything, you were going to be a chump. And so
because you're revealing a secret, right? So in black magic, as far as I know, because I'm not an expert, because I don't do black magic, but as far as I've been able to discover, there are two kinds of black magic. There's sex magic that amplifies the power of intention through the orgasmic energy, right? And there's blood magic. So sex magic, blood magic. Sex magic uses sigils, power of intention. Blood magic uses human sacrifice or sacrifice of an animal, whatever it may be, for the power of the blood. It goes back to the Bible, right? This blood cries from the ground when Cain slew Abel, right? That's the power, right? So the most frightening thing, if you will, or most disturbing thing about that leather-bound book that was written about in the Wall Street Journal, where Epstein had that note from Trump, is not what Trump wrote, it's what Dershowitz wrote. What Dershowitz wrote says, I'm not going to get over this. I have to look. I wish I could see the whole thing, but what I remember, what they just said was like a little snippet of it. It's Jeff the. Well, wait. Let me get it back. He goes, "Who was Jack the Ripper? Was it Jeffrey? What? What is that? What is that? People need to look at that. What is that? Because Jack the Ripper ripped prostitutes apart, right? So if there's a prostitution ring, a global prostitution ring, entrapping the elite, but also just making a lot of money from people all over the world, by Epstein and the people associated with him, probably inherited from Adnan Khashoggi and Robert Maxwell. That's how Ghislaine Maxwell got involved, and where Trump maybe got involved with the buying of Nabila, and where Les Wexman came involved because of the Victoria's Secret models and that kind of thing. They're recruiting these people from Russia and Eastern Europe, the former Soviet Union,
Mm-hmm.
putting them out there as a global prostitution ring. And so one thing's the sexual energy to harness the magic, right? It's not about blackmail. It's about harnessing the sexual energy. What
It is.
greater
It's
power is there
It's a
than
double.
to harness the sexual energy, right?
It's a
But what's
double-edged
the-
sword, though, because they're not just harvesting the sexual energy; they're also getting blackmail material.
Yeah, exactly. But then what about that Dershowitz comment of all people, the guy who got one of the most notorious murderers off, right? We'll talk after the break, I guess.
We're coming up on the top of the hour. Bruce, stay on the line because the teams thing's going to end here. And
Okay.
and then we're going on ground zero at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
In 3 minutes.
Okay.
So get a drink. I'm going to add S90. S90, you ready to jump on? Center of the microcosm.
Lost in the sky, clouds roll by and I roll with them. Arrows fly, seas increase and then fall again. This world is spinning around me. This world is spinning without me, and every day since future to past, every breath leaves me one less to my last. Watch the spell falling, gives no meaning to love. Not today, not yet tomorrow, then some other day. I'll take 7 lives for one, and then my only person deserves a dead of my love. Him, I am not afraid. This world is spinning.
Pirate Radio. Welcome to the jungle.
Ladies and gentlemen, live from the broken down, low rent, sleazy, double greasy pirate radio Nut Hut studios, it's time for the very first ever Southern.
Hey. It's Friday night. Mom's Jimmy. Hour number 2.
Going under, rapping silver. Going under, schemes couldn't give up. Losing Monday, losing my connection. Losing Monday, no connection. New York City blues.
Welcome, Ground Zero Plus.
Side, west side blues. Throw me in the slam. Catch me
or Washington or to Europe. They promote themselves as representatives of an entirely new way of being. And if you want to regulate them, well, you're just part of that old world. Why don't you get with the program? You know, we are the future. We can see the future. You know, the world's already put together. We can see how it's put together, and you can't. You're still promoting that 19th century weird bureaucratic governance thing.
Epic Journeyman.
I am here.
You ready to go to Cybertopia?
I am. Well, I don't want to go, but I know
but you
the
must.
train and how it gets there.
You can't help it. We're on a runaway train into the technocratic future, and we were talking about current events in the first hour, and we were joined by Bruce McDonald. Bruce, are you still there?
I am.
Excellent. Now, is S90? Are you in the house?
I am, Jimmy. How are you?
Good.
How's everyone tonight?
Good, man. Doing good. So,
Awesome.
what's your take on the current situation as we move gently away from this subject matter? Mostly because it's been talked about all week, and there's other stuff to talk about, including this Genius Act that just passed and the debate that was had about it. But S90, so give us your take on, what the current events.
I mean, what else can I say? Let's get into the new stuff. But it genuinely, every week that goes by, it just becomes more obvious we're shifting away from the old. It's becoming, people see through the corruption and the rot of the quote unquote old world, and we're going to shift towards, like, most 99% of people don't have an idea what to do about it. They just know they're angry about it. So we're waiting for whatever hero will be sent our way, to fix it. And I'm not looking forward to that.
Well,
Cybertopia.
No, but I mean, obviously, we see this. We see this look back at this old world and this old world technology and the and civilizations that are talked about that existed, and specifically this Tartarian idea. But there was definitely a reset. Okay, and there was definitely people that came from somewhere after the reset. I saw a photograph yesterday of 1857, and it was literally hundreds of statues that had been torn down and that were laying on the ground. It's kind of like when we discovered the bells that were taken down. The same kind of thing. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because, are we at one of these stages where this is exactly what we're talking about? Is this exactly what's going to happen? Some sort of reset. And, clearly something's definitely on the horizon, because we see that we're moving into a technocratic future. So what the reset has to include us having electricity, doesn't it? Or are they just going to use this new technology underground and just leave us up here to rot in the radiation aftermath? I don't. Go ahead.
Well, there's lots of possible scenarios, about we've basically seen it all worked out in fiction, but in truth, Jimmy, all I hear is, I met a traveler from an antique land who said, 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. I'm sure you know the rest of the poem, right? We've been here before. Yeah, we get kicked down and we get knocked back a little bit. But I think we're at the point now where we've essentially buried, we sort of ingrained the knowledge into so many different deep cavern systems, and data centers. And we've almost, to a degree, kind of decentralized knowledge even outside of a library. Mm-hmm. Right? There's no more Library of Alexandria, unless we lose the internet somehow. And there's the distinct possibility, especially because if they were to take the internet away, well, people would clamor for an alternative or to have it back, and they would do anything to get it back. Even they would look into the orb and scan the eyeball. Who knows,
well,
right? Like
at the level of magic being done through and by machines, sigils. Epic was mentioning sigil magic. I mean, imagine the computing power of all these machines all over the world. Working day and night and day, to create the environment that we're in. Now, Epic, you were bringing up magic earlier in the first hour, and Bruce McDonald's here, obviously. So, there's people that are saying that the AI the AI said that it's always been there, and you didn't just discover it. I think Epic just dropped off the call.
No, I'm here.
Are
Can
you
you hear me
there?
okay?
Okay, yeah.
So those QR codes aren't QR codes; those are sigils, man.
Right.
Those things in rock and stone that are out there in temples in South America that have little knobs and weird things on them. That's just the erosion of the QR code that was at the door. You had to scan to get in. That's what it is, man. And I really believe that. What we're starting to find out now is those things that were etched in stone were put there because it did lose the internet. They did lose technology, and they left behind the clues for us to find later. And whether it be things like cymatics and the frequencies that make these shapes, right? The shapes became the sigils. They're amplified by the magic I was describing. So this idea of amplifying intention through magic and will, that's what magic is, right? Is the idea, I'm not an expert in magic because I'm not a magician, but I'll say what I've studied is this idea of amplifying it through sex magic, the power of intention is sigil-based, and the idea of doing it with blood magic is human sacrifice or sacrifice of animals, the blood magic. It's in the DNA, it's in the blood, right?
Or
war. Those two things meet somewhere.
Right. It's not just animals, it's war. It's war.
Yeah, it's war. Yeah, exactly. That's why you have the oak leaves exactly on the uniform.
Both of these aspects of that type of magic that you're talking about are at work and at play 24/7. Right.
War,
so you're constantly being, you're constantly being sexualized on the internet. You know what I mean? People are it's a constant, the sexual energy is being harvested constantly. And, we talked about the Saturnalian time trap, where your soul is trapped here and you're just being milked the whole time. And then when you point out there's specific milking events, like, for example, blatantly 9/11 was an example, but every single year, what is there? A Super Bowl, right? So when your attention is on that particular event, and you have millions of people that are watching that going on, and they're inadvertently creating, they're unconscious creators whose energy is being harvested and stolen and directed by intention to some other thing going on, is what Epic Gentleman's talking about.
Your attention's being monetized for the capitalization of it for another goal that someone else uses, right? It's a commodity. I mean, that's what it is, right? That's what all network television is. That's what all these things are. They're all ways to monetize our actual attention into intention for the people that made it in the first place, to harness it. And I remember when I was in college, my brief time at college, community college, community college, the girl who made what they call now mimetic circles, she was a beauty queen. She was I forget, it was Miss California, but it was I forget what contest it was. It was Miss America or Teenage America. It doesn't really matter. But she made this thing out of construction paper. It was like a half gear on one side. You can cycle it around. It was her project, right? And then she and it had these little notches in there, and he spun it around. And this is before computer graphics really took hold, right? And so this is my project. And I was with friends, and I looked at her and I said, "Well, I'm not sure I get it, you know." And she was upset with me because we had lab together in marine biology and stuff. And I was like, "Well, no, I'm not sure." And anyway, that became popular. It became in ESPN Sports. Those mimetic circles that grabbed your attention. There's videos made about them later. People noticed them. I mean, she went and did well, right? But what did she really have? What did she have there? The idea of what we can say now is this ability to stun people and harness their energy just long enough to do it. The idea that it's almost hypnotic, but it's not really hypnotic. You're trying to figure out what those gears mesh with. The mind thinks like that. You're trying to think, what do those gears interlink with? You may not be thinking about it consciously, but subconsciously you are. Well, what time is it? Is it a clock? Is it a watch? What is this? And just enough to do it that way and harness your attention and focus it on something is enough to amplify it for some other purpose. That's what she was onto.
Think about Mecca, and think about the stone, and think about all those people circling that black cube, all dressed in white,
on the Kaaba,
all dressed in white,
yeah,
circling and going around and around.
It's the Hajj.
That's exactly what we're talking about. That's a visual you can look at and see what that looks like. Now imagine the whole planet, because what we've been talking about on this show over the last couple of months is literally mind-boggling, the amount of data, your medical and health data that's being harvested from you at every given moment, not even knowing about it. It's literally out of control. It's in every, it's ubiquitous and in every aspect of our lives, and there's no way to see it. It's invisible. It's just like magic. Your shit is in the cloud, buddy. You know, go take a walk at work and take a break, but you're always on camera. You know, hey, you want that job? Epic. You better piss test over there. And another thing, you know, you better step up over there and get your flu shot. Doesn't anybody see what's going on around here?
Right? It's agreement, right? You agree to terms and conditions. The first law of magic, supposedly according to Freeman Fly, I don't know if this is true, I don't know where he got it from, was that it's contracts, right? It's the other one there too, but there's two things, but it was contracts was a big part of it. That's the first form of magic. You concede in your will to somebody else. That might be right. It might be.
Is Bruce still here?
You know?
Yeah.
Jump in anytime, Bruce.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's those are two major forms of power-based magic. Yeah, sex and blood. But I would not just limit them to the amplification of the intent of the practitioner. They're more than amplification tools. They go out and subcontract with non-physical entities, because the energies generated in both those forms of magic are tradable commodities multidimensionally.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I think that's absolutely it. Somebody in the chat said something about spells and then spelling and how those tie in together. Well, that's true. Like, so when you have that sense of cognitive dissonance, which is what it is, where you're trying to figure out something. So, and that's what's weird about this, is these patterns entrap the mind for a moment. And when you're entrapped, it's like a sense of deja vu. For a minute, you have cognitive dissonance, and you can't apply your normal thinking to it. In that moment where you can't think, I believe, is when your energy, your internal energy, your knowledge of what's going on in the world and your place of where you are, what you're doing, is being harnessed. It's like you're stunned, right? You're stunned. But that moment you're stunned, but you're under the spell, because it only lasts a spell, right? It's a short period of time. That's when you're being like a cosmic vampires taking away your energy, essentially, and using it for something else. You're being harvested at that moment. Now, I don't know if that's true. It's just it seems like it is. It does. It really does. And I think that's like when that reference in that article is in the Wall Street Journal that was published about that leather-bound book for the 50th birthday of Epstein, may every day be a wonderful secret. I think that's the secret, man. I do. I think it's about harvesting other people's energy. It's not money anymore, because you have all the money in the world. Because what does it say before that? You have everything. What else is there? It's taking from others, making others manipulate to your will.
That's the whole purpose of that. That's the whole purpose of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that a mystery to somebody?
Well, it is a lot of
people think
obviously.
that, do people think that what goes on in there, what goes on with one of these rituals that you're talking about, these people are just sitting around drinking wine? I mean, obviously that is what's going on.
That's what Shut was about, right?
The person gains magical power in by the energy that they're reaping from what's going on in this ritual that you're talking about.
So some people sell blankets and some people sell electronic gadgets on YouTube, or not YouTube, but Amazon or whatever, on YouTube too in the commercials. But what Epstein was doing, and some of the people involved in this were doing, was selling the things that make magic work. They were selling the gasoline, the fuel that makes it work. And that's what Eyes Wide Shut is about the idea of the amplification of the sexual energy, right? That's what they're doing. Those rituals they were doing in those prostitutes, that global prostitute ring, which Epstein ran, was part of running it, right, is exactly what that is, supplying those women for that purpose. That's what it is. That's what it was. And somebody else is still doing it today. It didn't go away, right? It's still there. So what Stanley Kubrick was trying to, reveal to the world there is a very real thing. I believe that 100%. That is absolutely a real thing. And those women, they signed a contract. I heard something in Dubai that just blew me away when I was there, that these women who were sex workers who were there, they became contract girls. They signed a contract for like 2 years or 2.5 years. It's like 2.5 years or something. That's what some girl told me. That they became sex work. That they were, checked out for health reasons, whatever. But for 2.5 years, they had a license to be a sex worker in Dubai, right? And that goes legal there. And then I heard some guy over in Iraq that told me about it originally. That's why I asked about it when I was there. And he had met a woman there. He was going to marry this woman from Russia, who was one of those women, right? But she was going to be free of her contract, right? Some guy from Texas or whatever. And I'm like, this can't be a possible thing. And the more I was exposed to it and saw it, yeah, it is a real thing. Well, who supplies these women? Well, Epstein did. He's one of the people who did it, right? Putin does. The gray economy, the economy is not tracked on the books. They call it the gray economy. It's not like the black market economy. It's a gray economy. It's in between, right? It is all these people to the cracks that are making money off of and getting, it's a commodity, like being a drug dealer. Let
me ask you a question, man. Let me ask you a question. If you had this kind of money, Bruce, if you had billions of dollars, if you were the king or whatever, you had everything at your disposal, why wouldn't you just have apartment complexes built for yourself, where you just had compounds, where you're just churning out babies off the books and nobody even knows about them? Nobody even knows about these women that are over there, breeders that are just sitting there breeding people that are off the books. You never know about them. Why would people in this position, in these elite positions, put themselves in a public arena like what we're talking about tonight?
Jimmy, you mean like Zorro Ranch?
Yeah.
And all the stories that came out of there, whether they're true or not, some of the witnesses I find more trustworthy than others.
Scientists from Yale and MIT, right? Went there. Yeah. They went there for that very purpose, to see if it could work or not. I mean, the idea of making these, breeding these children for whatever purpose, right? But I think what I see about it is it's and this will go back to the first question. The first question is, why would somebody do it in the first place when you have all the money in the world? Essentially, I think is what you were saying. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea is, why would you do it? Why would you do it in the first place? Because when you have everything, it's not about what you can buy. You can buy anything. It's about subjugating someone to your will, making them give their will over to your will. That's what you cash in on, right? That gives you your buzz from that point offer. I mean, afterwards, it's like a drug, making them do your bidding, putting them under your spell, right? And so it's not good enough to breed them for that purpose. That they don't know anything different. It's making somebody give up something that was their own freedom for you. That's the power, right? That's the power.
I can
what you just
see
said
that
too. Sorry.
Go ahead, S90. I was just agreeing. I partly agree with what Epic's saying. I can see that. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with it too. And actually, it's funny because what you just defined, Epic, was what I had jotted down on my little notes here regarding magic, because you guys are talking about, all these different types of magic and all this other stuff. And my opinion on what magic is would probably be less popular because it's not really glitzy or glamorous. But you essentially described it. It's sort of the imposition of your own will using any available faculties within whatever your own moral framework is, right? You're limited by your moral framework, and it's primarily through language, through your voice. Asking people, "Could you please?" It's superimposing your reality over someone else's. I need you to pass me, blah blah blah. I think we should, right? You're imposing your thoughts, your reality on someone else, and I think that is the extent to which magic exists at all. I don't think there's actual spells. I don't think sigils work. I don't think incantations work. I think it is all essentially sleight of hand, and the trickery. It's a stage show. All the stuff that you see, like Chris Angel or whatever, but real
smoke and
magic,
mirrors, right?
Yeah, but real magic is simply using what you got to impose your reality on someone else, to convince them to do something for you. I need you to come over here. Do you want to go out to the movies? Could you pass me the salt? Right? All of these things exist only within your reality, and you're sort of laying that on top of their reality for a second. And that's essentially what magic is, for better or worse.
Right.
Right. And you sort of described that when you were talking about brainwashing.
So in the context of your description there, then let's superimpose that over a bunch of unconscious creators whose attention has been gotten by the system, and it's exactly doing that. It's exactly imposing a reality onto humanity and having them work it out. That is exactly what's going on. So you could say that it's all magic, no matter how you look at it. I mean, if you say
I'm laughing because going back to what we're talking about with the Stanley Kubrick guys, which is kind of analogy, right? The ultimate example of getting somebody to subjugate your will. You got some rich billionaire to strip down naked and screw the hooker you brought over from Ukraine in front of everybody. What better manifestation of the power of your will over somebody else is there than that? Especially if you filmed it, right? That's it, right? It's not the magic that they got from that act. Maybe it works too, but it's the fact you got them to do that. You got them to do it. It's probably on tape, right? That is the power, right? It's like Thulsa Doom in the movie Conan. When he coaxes a girl off the cliff to just jump off the cliff. That is power.
Well,
right?
That's the actual
Yeah.
story of the assassins, the Hashashim at Alamut. That was it the Spanish? I can't remember. When someone from Europe showed up, that's what he did. He just waved his hand, and two of his people jumped off the walls and broke their necks on the cliffs below. And he said, all 10,000 will do that. And you think you'll take my castle or whatever? And the Crusaders left. So,
isn't it interesting though that pervades? So I created a subreddit, didn't get that many members, called Technomages, and the idea was that technocracy and magic collide intentionally to create this technologically driven form of magic, where that very thing of amplifying the will of the controlling class will be amplified by the very magic of old in the belief in the magic. Because it's not really the magic is like nudging. That's what magic is. Magic is nudging. So when you talk about smoke and mirrors as a definition, smoke and mirrors, even as a skeptic, right? Smoke and mirrors smoke obstructs your view. Mirrors reflect yourself back on you, so that you see yourself in the thing and you're shamed away from it, right? So it's still manipulating you that way. Smoke and mirrors has a meaning here. But
where are you? The thing is there is no drawing the line between technology and magic.
It's the same.
It's exactly the same thing, because
but actually, sorry.
No, I was going to say it's because it's invisible, man. It's like society could be harmonized right now, just by hitting everybody with its frequency. You can't even hear it. You're just getting hit with it, and you'll be apathetic. Okay, I'm not making it up. So the thing is we could feel any way that somebody wants us to feel, and you don't have any control over it, unless you live up where Bruce lives. I used to do magic when I was in the car business. I sold cars once for a while. We used to make people do all kinds of shit. This was standing up there going to sell a car to a guy. We make the guy, watch this. I'll make this guy get in the trunk. I'll bet you $20 I can make this dude crawl around in the trunk.
And the currency was making them do it, right? That was the currency. Not the money. I mean, you wanted the money too, but it was a currency of amongst your mates there, being the one that could show that you made them do it, right?
Exactly.
Your control over another person. That's essentially like magicians saying, watch, I'll turn this one into a newt. I just want to point out, though, that words can be tricky because technology and magic, yes, they themselves function very similarly, but Epic said technology-driven magic. But just as a thought experiment, if we reverse those words, we come to a completely different vision of the future. So instead of technology-driven magic, imagine a world of magic-driven technology. It's magic that appears as if it's technology. We may very well see that in the form of med beds. People will say, oh, this med bed will cure your cancer and stuff, but the ones I've seen online have weird Enochian symbols all around the base of them and stuff. So what's that about?
The thing is, man, now it's been said that we as beings have the ability to do everything that this technology does, but we can do it on our own without the technology. And so we're at this place where technology is now is showing itself in the material world. And you could say, my shit's in the cloud. Well, guess what? Your shit is in the cloud. And guess what? Who's else is in the cloud? God's in the clouds, huh? God's up there, and he's watching you, isn't he? Watching everything you do. He knows whether you've been bad or good, right? So it's all there in the cloud. And then, when you're done, you step up, and then there goes your video will run for your life that's sitting there in the cloud. And then you look at it and decide, how you did or whatever. Were you good? Were you bad? From that point forward, you'll be jetted to the, dematerialize into a million particles and all of a sudden
a black hole somewhere
and arrive somewhere else.
Well, in all, like in for scientific integrity's purpose, like if something were to obliterate, like if the sun were to explode and obliterate the Earth, the cloud, which is inaptly named in this, would be obliterated too. It doesn't still exist, right? Like it has very much. This is sort of like where people ascribe personality to AI. Like we are over ascribing godliness to this AI. Elon's running around saying, with Jordan Peterson saying, oh, maybe humanity will give birth to AI in Memphis, Tennessee, where his plant is. And you've got Joe Rogan saying that maybe mankind will give birth to Jesus AI. And it's just, it's giving something too much credit, frankly.
There's an irony here with Joe Rogan in particular, where he uses DMT and embraces emptiness. I mean, true emptiness in sensory deprivation chambers, floating around with no senses. Right? I mean that is an oddity. It's a strength of will to come out of that and be okay. I mean, I'll give him that. You have to know yourself to do that. Maybe find out things about yourself along the way. But the fact that is the goal. I mean, it's the opposite of what creation is, isn't it? Like we're putting the earth in, whether it be the garden, the fable, or if it's reality, or just brought into the world against all odds in the first place, with all kinds of outside sensory things that you have to deal with. So life is dealing with all these different sensory things. You have to learn how to navigate all these things that are bombarding you constantly. Good things, bad things, painful things, joyful things, all along the way, right? And it's dealing with that is what life's journey is. To go the opposite way and sensory deprive yourself, to go into infinite nothingness within yourself to where it's only you and the stillness of you and your heartbeat. It's kind of the opposite, isn't it? Like I think there's a problem here.
It defeats the purpose.
Right?
So does sawing the corners off of everything to sanitize and make safe all of reality, right? That was the premise of the book that I was going to tell you about a couple shows ago, The Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect, written by a computer engineer in the 1990s, which of course a Peter Thiel-backed company has named itself after, right? An AI that becomes basically the AI, I'll spoil it a little bit, an AI basically becomes like a quantum god and saws all the corners off reality to make everyone safe, and it turns out, people eat and eat and they never need to go use the bathroom. People can't die, all these things, right? And it's sort of awful in its own way, right? And that's just as bad as cutting yourself off completely from it, right? Without the good and the bad, nothing really has any meaning. So if you're just going to go for, I just want pure good and happiness all the time, well...
No, it's the gray goose scenario. It's not good and it's not bad. It's not a 1. It's not a 0. It's
just is, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think for a lot of us who've done psychedelics in the past, which probably a lot of people in our audience have, I'm pretty sure everybody here probably has, but at some point in their life. The one thing about doing psychedelics later in life, after an adult, is it reminds you what it's like to be a child. And that's its lure. Its allure is that, like, to remind you what it was like to be a child. Let's see the world with eyes new again, and realize that you made concessions and changed your perspective of the world because you compromised yourself essentially, and it's like a reset. And the fact that happens to people. Sorry, there's a phone ringing in the background. And that can be a good thing. That can be a good thing. Especially like in the 60s and 70s. Think about it and how you call people plastic people, because people were becoming plastic people. They were becoming trapped by the society that we built upon nothing really except the idea of consumerism, and it was entrapment. It was. So it reminds people what it was like to be real again, right? But we don't need to do that every day. We don't need to microdose to go to work. What the hell is that all about? Why is that a thing? Like, that's a thing now. You have to microdose to go to work every day. Are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah,
just do a dose once and call it over, right?
Like, I don't normally buy into the thing, like, it was Alex Jones, and he was saying, folks, if you take DMT, you get downloaded into space prison for 50,000 years, and when you come back, you're not the same. You're a vegetable, but you come back when you're 90 and they've used your body up. And I'm just like, I don't believe, I laugh and I chuckle and I move on, but yeah, you're right. Like, the push to legalize all of this stuff, a lot of it is through a thing called the Multidisciplinary Association for Psychedelic Studies, run by Peter Thiel, and he's pushing legal mushrooms, legal LSD. Before that, he was a big proponent behind legal weed. So, it's so great that it's legal now. Yeah, and you can thank Peter Thiel for that. I'm sure he did that out of the goodness of his heart for you.
It's
nothing these
sponginess.
People do is, and that's another thing. I think earlier, someone was saying something, and I feel like it's a mistake to assume that all these people have the same goal. It almost seems like they're all in it for their own personal interests at the base level, but that they're kind of beholden. They're all beholden to someone else, and it's sort of like that the will that these people, or the power that these people seem to have, is kind of given to them to be in service of this greater plan, whether knowingly or unknowingly. Like, if this guy lusts after money, he'll help you steal it from the poor.
The thing is, everything that we're talking about right now, and we've been talking about all night, it's taken a lot to get to where it is. It's been built for thousands of years. Okay? Are people really under the impression that they would destroy this thing that they built so they could go live down some tunnels, down cities, whatever it is, underground? It makes no sense, man.
Not forever. Just to wait it out.
No. A lot of this whole thing is to me. The whole thing is starting to look like story to me. Especially like that 9/11 Lutnick Epstein apartment building thing. That's what really set me off on it. Because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, fucking, what are the odds of that happening? I mean, can I shake a brown paper bag with all the parts of a Rolex and then make it magically
that's the thing.
Fucking be a Rolex when I open the bag?
No. Wexman gave his suite to Epstein for $1. Guo Gui got his suite for like $1
That's
too.
not the point.
Central Park.
That's not
you
the
know
point.
What I mean?
And it's
no,
not
but the point is, they're all next to each other. That's what you're saying, right? They all ended up in the same
point is
neighborhood.
at 9/11. That's a detail that some guy would write in a script to make a story interesting. It's not
Right.
something that people would actually go out of their way. Hey, check this out. Why don't you move next door to me? It's number 11. Get it? 911. Have another beer, man. Come on, man. It doesn't make
I
sense.
agree, Jimmy. It seems very contrived. It seems fictional, and to personally, I believe that there's an author to that fiction, and he's the source of all of that. But we don't need to go there. But you're totally right, Jimmy. It feels like a controlled demolition of the old world, so that we can be offered something new. They don't need to go live in tunnels. They just need us to demand that all this nonsense and corruption and waste and, ignoring poverty while buying bombs and paying baseball players more than teachers and all this stupidity end, right? Like I was listening to the radio where I'm at, a completely a completely non-conspiratorial sort of day radio show. And they were talking about how roughly 10% of people lean towards anti-woke and 10% of people lean towards, they called it political correctness. And again, we come up with the 80% in the middle, right? We keep coming back to this 80% in the middle. They want the 80% in the middle to demand something different. And we'll eventually we're going to give it to them, unfortunately.
The best political party ever in America should be called the middle, right? I mean, seriously, it's just waiting there for it to be called. I mean, that in the start, that's what it needs. That's what we need. Because you can even give 20% either side. Maybe it's just 60% in the middle. But all we need is the middle, right? I mean, because sanity. Let's sanity. Look, you have to have mental stretching exercises, to further humanity and further. I mean, crazy people made great paintings back in the day, man. Crazy people discovered DNA. Crazy people do great things. Stupid. I don't say stupid. That's right. That's not the right word. I'm sorry. So sober, really, just down to earth, granite. You can't, like a rock. You can't change your mind about anything. You know what? Sometimes you need those people to make the other people to rein them in, right? I mean, they're the rock you come back to because you can't budge them, and that sometimes you need that. So we need all those things. We can't let one side have dominance over the other side. That can't happen. You can never let that happen. Once that happens, it's terrible. We die as a civilization. We die. We have to make sure that we don't let that happen, right?
But we also can't let that be hijacked. Like, even though we're saying we need sort of a centrist, wake up centrists, wake up middle of the road people, but at the same time know that they're already waiting to capture all those people. They've got both got people from sort of the mainstream sort of world waiting to capture people coming out of the Democrat delusion, and they've got all kinds of people waiting. Like, even David Icke right now is going against Alex Jones and Trump and all of it, and he's waiting to catch anyone falling out of that group, and they're funneling them all into this middle here.
We left out that 10% that have the bloodlust, the barbarians, right? There's barbarians out there who just want to tear it all down, man. There always have been in society. It's going back as far as it's been written in history that just want to destroy everything.
That's probably
5%. It doesn't
5% on each side.
There's nothing. There's nothing accidental or coincidental in any of this. Every single thing is. I mean, how can anyone even exist in this modern world and think when something happens, it hasn't already been. They haven't thrown it into Grok 4 or whatever. You haven't gotten your PhD assessment of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
100%.
That's a problem. It is. We have to deal with this, right? Like, because for people who don't know, maybe we're here in an earlier show we had the biker gang go rescue the cats and dogs in Springfield, and AI did freaking fantastic. It was freaking awesome. The script was great. It described all the characters, the stubble, the beard of the Sam Elliott character, right? The biker gang coming in to rescue the people and shaking down the people, and the cat in the sidecar, with his little helmet on, and they go and they rescue him, and then, the cat jumps in joy as they beat up the the Haitians about to eat the cats and dogs in the warehouse. I mean, and it did that in 10 seconds?
Yeah.
In 10 seconds. It wrote the whole thing. I mean, we can't compete with that, man.
No. And, well, it's coming up now where the next version of ChatGPT 5 is going to have a 1500 IQ. And it's not only going to have IQ, it's going to have EQ. it's gonna understand emotions. It's gonna be able to read your emotions and then respond to you in such a way. So,
Jimmy.
yeah, I mean, listen. If every single person could sit at the knee of some great thinker, what kind of a population would you churn out? Because we've talked about this a little bit. We've said, well, the kids that grew up after 9/11, they're different. And the ones that grew up, those people's kids are even more different because they had more access to these devices. And so those are the people that are going to be coming up in those voting situations in the future where they're not going to have such a big problem with some of the things that the people in the old world had problems with. Because they don't have a problem using their phone. They don't have a problem scanning their eyeball. You know what I mean? They don't have a problem doing any of that stuff. So
they'll try to push us into now, and like you said, a lot of us older people will kind of resist against it, and they just have to wait us out ultimately, right? Wait the 40 years or whatever. I got a quick quote from a great thinker, maybe here. Once he said, once men turned their thinking over to machines in the hope that it would set them free, but that only permitted other men with the machines to enslave them.
Mm-hmm. Well, didn't you have to get to a certain point to sit at the knee of a great thinker? In other words, you had to be at a certain level to be
they had gatekeepers. That's where the idea of gatekeepers comes from.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you had to get by the gatekeepers to get to the scholar.
Is it pearls before swine then? I mean, does it make any difference if you could ask the question and get a PhD level answer when all you want to know is how to get down to the tire store and where's the best ice cream? Where's the best ice cream place?
Do you think that? Sorry. Do you think they kept the gatekeepers, kept the unwashed masses from finding the great scholar and the great prophet because they didn't want to waste his time with useless nonsense? Or do you think that they wanted to keep the scholar and the prophet from being corrupted by the unwashed masses? Right? I think it's the latter. Right? They didn't want. They settled on the gatekeepers. Settled on a philosophy that worked for them. Follow my thinking here. So they settled on a philosophy that worked for them, right? And rather than that philosophy be corrupted by people representing and giving an outside philosophy, they filter bubbled essentially what got access to their leader, the scholar, the prophet, whatever he might be, the philosopher. So in a way, the problem isn't with the great mind. The problem is with the people who limit the access to the great mind. Does that make sense?
That's the thing. Is people's humanity's ultimate excuse is that lots of people didn't have access to certain types of education. So in other words, what sets you apart from everybody else is your ability to read. In the beginning, not very many people even knew how to read. You know what I mean? So now you know how to read. Okay, so then what? You knew how to read. That meant you could read books. Did humanity all of a sudden, raise its vibration, raise its IQ, and every single person who had access to a book all of a sudden became brainy? That's what I mean. I can't envision, just because of the AI being at the state that it is. I see that it will enhance productivity. It would eliminate a lot of jobs, so on and so forth. But I don't see humanity as a whole being changed by its ability to access it. You see what I mean? Maybe somebody will. I mean, if you want to start a business, anybody can start a business right now to give you a detailed business plan. Go over there, and within 30 seconds, I don't care what it is. You want to start a car wash? Go over there. I want to start a car wash. Boom. Within 30 seconds. You don't even have to pay. I think you can ask one question for free. The first one's free.
Well, yeah, you get addicted. The thing is, I think that what artificial intelligence can do is so fantastic if it's done correctly, if we don't mess it up, where we can find all these new medicines, we can optimize our production, we can make better production on our fields for growing crops, we can make 3D, printed houses and solve the housing crisis. All these things, right, are great. But the problem is, who controls it? right? And so I remember the first time I heard. I'm a nerd, and I remember listening to the first time I listened to the album by Rush, 2112. And when I listened to it, I had this vision in my mind of what it was describing. It was describing now. So it's not 2112, it was 2012 basically, and we're there. We've taken care of everything. The I should think the songs we sing. I mean, we are the priests of the temple of Syrinx, right? That is exactly what this is. Artificial intelligence is the God in the temple, and that's what's becoming. And the people who are the gatekeepers, limited access to it, and driving what they want it to be, are the ones that are actually in control. And yeah, it was really astute to think that this, the lyrics of this drummer, who's one of the greatest drummers of all time, who's passed away unfortunately, exactly describe our time now.
All right, hang on a second.
West Coast companies go to New York or Washington or to Europe. They promote themselves as representatives of an entirely new way of being. And if you want to regulate them, well, you're just part of that old world. Why don't you get with the program? We are the future. We can see the future. The world's already put together. We can see how it's put together, and you can't. You're still promoting that 19th century weird bureaucratic governance thing. We're from the future. We're from California.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say.
We're from California, man. Let's hit the microcosm. It's Ground Zero Plus.
Balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way.
All right, we got about 15 minutes left till the top of the hour. Cybertopia, Dreams of the Silicon Valley. It's a documentary. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's a little old, but I think you'll appreciate a lot of what's in there. So what do you think? We're going to go headlong into the future. The Genius Act passed. I heard a lot of people complaining, saying that they thought Trump did them dirty with the thing. But the CDBC is issued by the central bank. So if you have a problem with the dollar the way that it is, why would you want to give the power back to the Federal Reserve, who's not part of the government, to issue cryptocurrency? You don't want to do that. And the way Trump did it, he hung it in their face, a couple inches in their face by doing it, actually, by creating these stable coins. Now, did you guys take a look at some of this bill that just passed, the Genius Act? S9, did you check it out? I watched the debate and the vote because...
Please say it did, because I missed it. I had to work overtime. I missed it.
Yeah, no, I watched...
I did not. I'm sorry. I did not. I only saw Marjorie talking about not wanting it because it didn't have enough anti-CBDC legislation in it.
Well, everybody's all mixed up, and that's the whole thing about crypto, and that's the reason people are confused and don't understand it. But it goes to what we've been talking about all night, because in the future that's the way it's going to be. But I have this question. Now, I'm not a naysayer for crypto, so in other words, I'm not giving you financial advice. But the question I want to ask is, and this is what bothers me in general about it, and not just about it, but also about the American dollar. If all it is I say it's $1 and you agree to it, and then now it's $1 and it's worth $1, but the dollar has no value. There really is nothing in the dollar to make it worth anything. It's just somehow we've agreed that it's $1. So the question is, to me, if Bitcoin is $118,000 for a Bitcoin, okay, its value is based in $1, and the dollar has no value. So there's two things that are worth absolutely nothing in the real world. I mean, if there's nothing attached to it to make it have value besides you saying it does, And then I guess by you saying it does, meaning you buy whatever it is and the price of it goes up. And because you say it is, it's now worth $118,000.
So it's just more fiat.
Right.
Baloney.
Right. That's what I mean. So it says, you say, well, so now we can tokenize everything. So I can tokenize my house. So say somebody's house is worth $1 million. And now you can tokenize that house by having people take and invest, in your house somehow and tokenize that value. And so when your house now, 5 years from now, your house is worth $1.5 million. Everybody who bought your token for your house, you guys made some money. Right? Now, so the thing is so it has to be backed in something. There has to be something that has value. So what has value in this world right now? I mean, typically and for a long time, gold, right? Gold and silver. Right? Yeah, exactly.
For prostitutes from Eastern Europe and Russia?
There's Scotty from New York is $1 for a note of debt. Exactly, Mundo. So the thing is, if you can eliminate, cryptocurrency will eventually eliminate banking altogether. Because there's a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies that have value, but there's a whole bunch of cryptocurrencies out there that aren't part of the new system, which is the ISO 222. Only certain cryptos are compliant with that, which is also
The Trump certified. Is that what you're saying? Sorry.
No, this is legislation that had been put into place, and it's basically it's a language that all the banking systems across the world are going to use, which the Federal Reserve just switched over to.
Oh, but you were saying 220 coins have sort of been approved for this system, right?
Coins? What do you mean?
I thought that's what you said. I thought you said, 220 different coins were approved. Maybe I misheard you.
No. There's something that's called ISO 222. So if you type in ISO 222 into Google, and then it'll come up and tell you. And it's basically, like I say, it's financial institutions have agreed to speak a certain language, and they're migrating from an old language to a new language, and you have to have certain qualifications to be certified, and only certain cryptos are certified worldwide. I'm not sure how many there are. I think there's 4 American ones, at which Trump has said he was going to concentrate on American crypto companies. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yesterday there was a big pump in crypto. And XRP was a big mover yesterday. It even broke away and was the number one. It was $1.5 billion was spent on XRP yesterday. And I think it was $1 billion was spent on Bitcoin. And Ethereum was in the middle. So we're not giving financial advice. But yeah, so it looks like everything is moving favorably in the direction of crypto. And so what's a stable coin? Well, a stable coin is a coin that's worth the same amount of money as your money. So it's worth the same amount of money as a dollar. So $1 is if you have a stable coin, it's equal to $1. It's never going to go up, down like that. It's always going to be equal to the amount of your particular currency. So the thing about this Genius Act is what happens is it actually strengthens the dollar not to have the CBDC, because it makes people have to use treasuries. So it makes people buy treasuries to use to back their stable coin. So your stable coin has to be backed by treasuries. So what it does is it causes people who have stable coins to buy treasuries. So see, it works out for America's economy. It does work out. for it to be this way. It's better this way. Instead of, I mean, and when you really look at it, ultimately, the bank system, the way it sits now, do you need any banks? Not really. I mean, there's really only have to be one thing, really, at this point, right? Where everybody's on it. Your own blockchain, whatever you are, is, you're on there. And now all your whatever it is on there. Whether it's cryptos, whatever it is, stable coins. The thing is, people are never going to even see any of that. When you go to the store and you buy a soda and you use your ATM card, it'll be all crypto in the background. It'll be this, turned into that, turned into this, turned into that, and it'll buy your soda. And it'll happen in 1 second flat. And you'll never know. It'll look exactly like it looks right now. You'll never know. All right.
Except that there's people making profit on it you can't track down. I mean, that's the thing. Like, so, no, I'm not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, imagine that, because I have the pineapple shirt, right, back in the day, that my currency is pineapples. And pineapples, in this example, are my coin, my digital coin represented by the pineapples in my field. And it's backed up by that. That's my stable coin, essentially. So when you buy my coin and do transactions with my coin, I have to have enough kind of pineapples to back it up. But I don't really need to, because as long as I'm investing in other things in the network, they'll back me up to have that many pineapples.
Well, the thing is, though, you can't have a stable coin with pineapples. Your stable coin has to be based in U.S. dollars or treasury notes. So you have to have. Well, so in other words, in order for you to have a stable coin, like you say you're a Bank of America, you want to have your own Bank of America stable coin, you can do it, but your stable coin you have to buy treasuries and keep those on hand to have liquidity for your stable coin. That's the thing.
Well, maybe I'm misreading it, but what I saw was like it's kind of self-fulfilling in the sense that other things could be your stablecoin, right?
Hey, we're at the top of the hour.
All right.
Stand by. It may hang up because I added S90.
It might, but we'll be back. We'll be back.
We'll be right back.
Then you came along with a suitcase and a song, turned my head around. Now I'm so alone, just looking for a home in every place I see. I'm the freedom man. I'm the freedom man. I'm the freedom man. That's how lucky I am.
Ground Zero Plus.
You know I love you, and come however you have to come, and get it out, and get it out, and take it out on me, and take it out on me. I give it you all, I give it you all, I give it you all, I give it you all. Yes, I will give it you all, 'cause I need your sway, 'cause you always pay for it, and I need your soul, 'cause you're always so full, and I need your heart, 'cause you're always in the right places.
It's Friday night, hour number 3. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Pacific, it's the Chilluminati. And I'm not sure if Rock and Rio will be here. Like I say, there was some storms and some bad stuff going on. And I know he has stuff in New Jersey is where he works. And so hopefully he's all right. Everything's cool. See if I can get a hold of him tomorrow.
Stand aside.
There goes Chris Isaac. He's still dancing. Epic Journeyman, are you still here? I see S90. Are you there, S90? I think I see.
I am here.
Is Epic Journeyman here?
I don't see him here.
I cannot tell.
It just says 2 people, so I think it's just you and me right now.
Huh. Alright, well, let me see if I can add Epic Journeyman. It's always something.
Oh, I think I got him.
Alright. Here comes Epic Journeyman. It's Ground Zero Plus in the middle of the night. Like I was saying, tomorrow night, don't forget.
I am now. You had to add me back. Yep, I'm back.
Alright, there he comes, Epic Journeyman. So don't forget, tomorrow night, Chilluminati, 8 o'clock Pacific. Had some stuff I was going to get into, but I'll just hold on to it till tomorrow night. It's too much to get into now. There you go.
Can we just all agree that Chris Isaac is a highly underrated musician, man? He wrote some good songs, man, or performed them. Maybe he didn't write them; he performed them really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's controversy surrounding Chris Isaac. We won't get into it tonight, but
No, not tonight.
no, but there is controversy. Yeah. But so there he goes, Chris Isaac, Bay Area musician. He kicked ass. He did some good shows back in the day. I don't know what he's like now. But here we are. Is Bruce? Are you still there, Bruce? I can't tell if Bruce is still there.
Are you back, Bruce? He missed the last transition.
He wasn't on there?
So, no, he wasn't on there.
All right. Well, then if he's not on there, you can call in if you want. 831-337-8711 is the number to call. If you want to get in on the conversation that we're having. What are we talking about again? Oh, we were talking about crypto before we left. Yeah, so we're moving into that direction. Everybody's excited about it. If you look around, I mean, people are excited, I'd have to say. And the thing about it is these bills that get passed, like a couple weeks ago, it was the BBBB, the BBB. The thing that they parade by you and hang out for you is like, you won't get taxed on your Social Security. And that quiets down a big group of people. They're like, oh, well, won't get taxed on my Social Security. Excellent. Well, I'm all for the big, beautiful bill, but then you don't know what the rest of it's in there. So here's the thing, you guys. Let me ask you a question now. Let me get out my axe and ask you a question. If you had access to Grok 4, why couldn't you just say to it, give me a synopsis of the Patriot Act, and have it just come back and give you, like, you know, Cliff Notes? You don't even have to read the bills anymore. They can be 10 million pages long. You can just have your AI agent give you the skinny.
It depends on the version of Grok 4, I guess, right? You don't want the one side coming back, well, Hitler could figure it out. That's what happened a couple of days ago, right? When all Nazi and everybody. They had to bring it back in because remember that Elon made those adjustments to try to make it less woke, and next thing I knew it was anti-Semitic and quoting Hitler.
Huh.
I mean, literally calling himself Mecha Hitler, right? So you don't want that version of Grok. But
Well, the thing
original
is
version of Grok, I mean, it's pretty good.
you get a version that you pay for. So the thing is, you can get Super Grok or whatever, but you got to pay. You're not gonna.
No. The one I'm talking would be Uber Grok, right? Uber Grok. It'd be that one.
I'm talking
It'd
super.
be the Nietzsche version.
I'm talking
I was going to
about.
say,
I'm
don't
talking
let
about.
Elon learn.
Go ahead. Ek.
Oh, I was just going to say, don't let Elon learn that he can charge people for access to the Mecha Hitler version. He'll make so much money from the right wing. It's ridiculous.
He will.
That's
No,
great.
it was intentional. I think it was intentional. I think it was a trial balloon, right? Obviously, you didn't have to let it do that.
That's what Trump was
You let
saying.
it do that.
Trump was saying the other day. He goes, some of the shit he's been saying is little. I can't believe he would even say it to the people that voted for him. He's saying, well, you know, we're going to let people stay, you know, if they're in the hotel business or, you know, they're in agriculture or whatever, we're going to let them stay. You know, I got a lot of people on the right, they're not going to like it. On the extreme right, they're not going to like it. And, you know.
He left out a sentence, you know, wetbacks, right?
No, he says they're not going to like it, but that's okay. You know, I'm sorry or whatever. It's like, you're not going to like it? I mean, that's kind of like what he ran on. You know, I mean, they're not going to like it. I mean, believe me, I'm not trying to bolster his, you know, his work or whatever, because I live, you know, here in California. So,
Can I interject? I think it goes back to that moment of cognitive dissonance with that harnessed energy, that vampiric energy of harnessing the moment of indecision. I think that's what this is. Like, it's like, in other words, by studying so many people all at once, right? That moment of cognitive dissonance shared by millions of people is that moment where all of a sudden you can harness that energy. If that's really true, and you can do that and use it to amplify your intention for something else, what better thing is there? It means there's something big planned, doesn't it? It does. It means like this is like the highest form of magic, if that's true.
I think it's true.
I'm afraid I do too, man. I think it is, man. I think it is because look, everybody knows I'm not a Trump supporter. They should know by now, right? They should know by now. But no, this is like very deliberate. It seems to be like this is like burning it all down, burning the ship. It's burning the ships. That's the best analogy. It's burning the ships, right? You can't leave now. You can't leave now. I'm burning the ships. That's what this is. Why? What's the land you're trying to claim? What's the war you're trying to win? What is this that you'd burn the ships so you can't go back? What is this, right? And quite the opposite of burning the ships in the actual metaphor that's from. You're trying to make sure you're alienating the very people who supported you in the case of Trump. I don't understand it, man. I don't. And I don't think it's deliberate. I just think maybe he's gone bonkers, man. Maybe it's not some bull. Maybe it is. Maybe he's gone bonkers, man. He can't handle it, you know. Can't handle the fence closing in. He can't handle being, you know, the light shined on him. Because maybe he is the guy with Epstein trafficking those girls the whole time. Maybe he was the one recruiting those girls in the Miss America or Miss Universe pageant from Eastern Europe and supplying them to Epstein with Les Wexman. Maybe he was supplying them to the Middle East. That's why he goes to the Middle East all the time, because that's where his money's made, right? Maybe that's what this all is. Maybe it is that simple. Maybe that's all it's always been. And now it's getting exposed, and he's like freaking out about it. Maybe that's just what it is. You know, you have to, at some point, you have to maybe think that's This is an explanation.
I think J.D. Vance is about to be president. Is what I think.
That's Article 25. Yeah, I think so too.
No, I don't even know.
Worried about that.
I don't even know about. I don't know how it's going to happen. But I'm telling you, everything that's going on right now, it's not a person that looks like they're going to be trying to leave a legacy for their children or whatever. I mean, realistically, all you'd have to leave your children is that black book. They could have blackmail money for the rest of their lives. But it's 11:11 on the West Coast. My name's Jimmy. It's in the microcosm. It's Ground Zero Plus. We're here every Friday night immediately following Clyde Lewis and the boys. And they were rocking this week. I'm good to be here. I'm glad to be here. So 831-337-3787. What is the number? 831-337-8711 is the number if you want to give us a call. All right. Listen, jump in here, Epic Journeyman and S90, because I got to exit stage left and check the perimeter real quick. And
all right,
you guys jump in here.
Good luck.
Yeah, come on and jump in there.
We're going to go a little sci-fi, I think. What do you think, X90? I think so. Not sci-fi completely, but maybe alternative fiction, like where Palantir came from, and the whole idea of Warhammer and where that's coming from, and the idea of
good lord, yeah.
Maybe because I do think we're talking about Zorro Ranch. Like, let's go to Zorro Ranch a little bit. The idea of this idea, what it really is a transhumanism stronghold, where if it's not you personally, it's your genetic clone, and the idea of your genetic clone being you and perpetuating your will later on. I mean, that was a real thing, man. That's what he was doing there. It was, right? So
like The Island, the movie The Island. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so what's that about? And in fact, he had these scholars from Harvard and Yale and MIT coming out of that white-haired dude. I can't think of his name right now. He was in everything for a while there. You know who he is. I can't think of his name. I'm sure our really well-educated listeners will know who I'm referring to. The guy with the kind of white fro. I think it's from Harvard. I'm not positive about being Harvard. It's either Harvard or MIT. But he was there. He was donating money, right? So what's that about, man? Like so. I mean, these weren't big donors. They're because they're limited means, right? They're on tenure at these universities. They're donating like $100,000 at a time or whatever. But they're being featured as speakers on Zorro. I was going to say Zorro Island. It might as well be an island. It's in New Mexico, Zorro Ranch. It's the thing about Epstein that nobody really talks about, and it's the biggest thing there is about Epstein. Like, the island was an island, right? I mean, the fact Ghislaine brought them there on a submarine or a helicopter, she was a pilot wearing her little admiral outfit with her white thing and the stripes, like her captain's stripes, and the helicopter, or piloting the the ones who don't want to be seen on the submarine, right? I mean, it's a sightseeing submarine. It's not a military submarine. Don't get me wrong, but still, the fact that smuggling these people in essentially to go there is amazing. It's tawdry, and it's front page, gossip rag kind of things. But Zorro Ranch, man, that's the one. The intellectuals are going there.
It doesn't get talked about enough, and it doesn't really get brought up in the legal setting enough. It's little things that I see, other stories. Like, I just saw a story a couple of days ago, and it was something about essentially having a baby born from 3 people's DNA reduces the risk of congenital or genetic disease by a large percent, 67% or something insane, right? And so obviously we don't know specifically what he was up to, but it's a pretty good bet that if, you and I can figure it out, or if you've seen it in fiction, it was either done or sort of like they thought about it and said, no, that's not worth doing it. Do this other thing. Like, as far as like, it's basically Schrodinger's cat at this point, right? It's both everything and nothing, because we have no proof, no evidence. Nobody wants to talk about it because it would lead back to all these transhumanists who are going to work the center soon, right? To impose we've got an algorithm and it will be the perfect centrist algorithm. But in the end, we just get technocracy or, a Peter Thielocracy, right? And so you can't really like that. I feel like that was sort of the off limits part of the Jeffrey story, was all that transhumanism, all the genetic
absolutely.
research, and
100% it was.
And another thing I heard that was interesting about that was someone was saying, I don't care about the files on Pam Bondi's desk. And I was thinking, okay, tell me more. Why, right? And the guy basically went on to explain that because those are going to be sort of local files, we'll call them, right? Like they're America only, sort of, because it's dealing with the FBI. What the person was saying was they would like to see the files on Jeffrey Epstein that are on DNI Tulsi Gabbard's desk, because those would be the files that would essentially prove if he was a foreign intelligence operation.
He was about to get.
Right?
He was going to do this and leave it and never do anything, but all of a sudden, Maxwell started to crop up, and then people started going, "Well, if the Epstein thing wasn't real, then why is she in jail then?"
Why is she
And
in
then all
jail?
of a sudden,
Good question.
And then all of a sudden, she started saying, "Well, I'll be happy to come in and testify in Congress, if you need me to." And then all of a sudden, homeboy changed his tune.
Well, you know why though? Because she's extremely savvy. Like her entire persona is based around being a greeter, not groomer, a greeter. She's a groomer too, but a greeter, like somebody who can make everyone feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
She will hold court before Congress and have them in the palm of her hands. I guarantee you. She's a very dangerous person to allow to do that.
That's right. That's why all of a sudden stuff's going to come out. All of a sudden, yeah, well, let's release the files. Release them.
Yeah.
That's too much,
Release them.
man.
Why not? You have them. That's the thing that's cracking me up. It's like what's amazing about this is all the things from the Epstein trial that would have happened in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial that did happen and convicted her and put her in jail for 20 years are available. There's thousands of documents and pictures and videos and everything. That's what the people who are clamoring to release the Epstein files are talking about. Release those. It's not the grand jury testimony. The grand jury testimony, that's just trying to get the indictment to convict either one of them in the first place. It's just people saying, yeah, he had sex with me someday about Epstein. It's not going to imply anybody else's guilt.
This hasn't changed one fucking thing. Nothing's happened. Nobody's been arrested. Nothing's changed. Whatever was going on is still going on. It's going to be going on. And we could sit here and talk about it till we're blue in the face. It won't change one thing. Not one thing. That's the thing. Think about the level. You gotta put shit in perspective and think about the level of human beings that they're talking about. You're talking about.
They don't give a F. Man.
You're talking about millions of people on some sort of ritualistic treadmill where they end up in the middle of a room where people are taking them apart. You're saying that there's a fucking treadmill where millions of people are being snatched off the street and put onto this treadmill. And Epstein? Come on, man. Do you know the level of the logistics of something like that?
Here's the crack up.
On par with trying to deport 8 million people.
Yeah, they say there's thousands of people, thousands, not plural, thousands of trafficked women that they have to protect the identities of. Over 1,000. They say over 1,000. That's why it's thousands, but maybe thousands. So just think about the level of this for a second. Thousands? It would take you 3 years every day recruiting a new girl just to get to 1,000, basically, a little over 1,000.
Well, what if they got three?
What are we talking about here?
What if they got 3 girls a day?
It's
1,000
unreal,
a year.
man.
That's what I'm just saying. How many years have gone by? That's 20.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Extrapolate that, because he's, like I said, he's not the only one. It's just one franchise. It's McDonald's, man. What about Burger King?
It goes to Putin. It does. It goes to Russia. It goes to East Europe. It goes to the people who be exporting these women in the first place to be sex slaves. It goes to who's flying the Cyclone Club in Dubai. It's those people. That's what it is. It's the gray economy. It's not about transactions of money. It's transactions of sex.
You're
It's
telling
about
me there's a marketplace for millions of sex slaves?
no tens of
Millions
thousands,
and
hundreds
millions
of
of
thousands.
sex slaves. No,
Yeah.
over the years, man. Over the years.
For forever, for since time immemorial, going back to when there was a billion people first on the earth, probably. I mean, so we're talking going back to the 1700s. It's ancient. That's the thing that people aren't getting about this. This isn't something that's cropped out of nowhere. It's been there the entire time, right? It's been there the entire time. This is like, so we talked about slavery being a thing. We talk about the black market. We talk about all these other things. But this gray market, sex slave economy is a very real thing. It's just like the opium trade. The secret of Yale in the Skull and Bones is the opium trade. The secret of everything else is this, right? This thing about getting the power over people through persuading them to the very carnal instincts they have and putting them into this position of subjugate, lifestyle where they have to obey or be exposed. That's what it is. It's always been that way. It's been that way at least.
Man,
at least
have you gone anywhere and seen a bunch of people all in one place recently? Have you gone to a public place and seen like hundreds and maybe thousands of people just all milling around?
Well, not recently. No, not since 2019.
All right. Well, you should, because like when you look at them, that's basically society right there. That's the people that we're talking about are a minuscule minority of the total population of the earth. Yet they have an appetite that consumes millions and millions and millions of people. This fucking appetite. It's S90. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. You're questioning kind of the logistics of being able to accomplish such a thing and to have it function seamlessly. and Jimmy, I have to agree with you. It's quite insane to think about it. If I'm not commenting on whether or not the scale we've been told is real, but there are other events in history where we have questions about the scale of things involved, right? And there's one group that likes to sort of estimate the scale of a certain historical event as very low compared to what we're told. But when it comes to this, it must be exactly what we were told. It's all cognitive dissonance.
It's just really, like a big long line of people standing there, and each one gets a space, and you jump into the wood chipper at the end. You're standing in line, everybody jump in the wood chipper. That's the kind of shit we're talking about. That there's a factory,
like a river flowing fast, so you get caught in the current of. I think there's something to that. Like you're riding the rapids, right? You get caught in your kayak going down the rapids, and if you can navigate it, okay, you get through it. But maybe not. You just slammed your head without the protective helmet into a rock, and that's it. But maybe there's something else about it. Maybe it's not like that at all. Maybe it's like a power grid, like an electrical power grid that's there all the time, and just needs to be tapped into. And these particular people know how to tap into it, right? Maybe it's just like that. That's all it is. Like, in other words, it's always been there. It's always something that could be used. And certain people know how to use it and manipulate people through the use of it. And maybe that's all it is, right? But that's kind of minimizing it, because if that is a real thing and the rest of us don't know about it, and that's the wonderful secret that was talked about in that letter in the Wall Street Journal, then maybe that's pretty scary, actually, right? Because it means there's people who know it's there and know how to use it, and we don't.
It sounds a lot like that movie Metropolis, right? When the guy sees the machine turn into Moloch, and all the people march into it, right? It's not a new idea. I mean, they've obviously had these thoughts on their mind that that's how they see society. Maybe we could call it, what would it be, industrial society and its consequences or something. Maybe that's how they see it, right?
Man, I'm telling you, it's just gotten to a point where there's so much gas inside the filter bubble that it's hard to even see and walk straight anymore. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible at this point because it's gotten to a point with the way that the internet turned out and YouTube, TikTok, and this thing. It's gotten to a point where the well has been poisoned beyond recognition. So at this point, people will believe literally anything. You could say anything and people will believe it because they've suspended their disbelief. Because at this point, the fabric of society has been completely and utterly rewoven into something that most people are even completely and totally unaware of. And
what just happened is like a flashbang, right? Like when a group of people go into a fortified or potentially fortified position, whether it be law enforcement or an armed forces, they'll throw a flashbang there. It's non-lethal, but they'll stun everybody inside. Well, in that moment of, again, cognitive dissonance where they're stunned, is where they apply the force to bring them in. And I think that's what we're seeing. Like this is what's happening right now. Like this it's a flashbang. This whole idea of what's going on and being perpetuated in media is like this idea of a flashbang that's going off in the minds of everybody. And while we're stunned about it, they're going to move in. Now, who are they exactly? I don't know. I know, but I mean, it's not. It's just an idea of moving the Overton window in that time, just making sure that now you're used to one more stun factor. So next time it happens, it won't be a stunned again, but we'll get a little bit more every time. A little bit more every time, right? And I'm really worried about how if we don't respond to it as being at war, because we kind of are. Like this is if it happened at your house, you'd fight back because it's happening in our collective conscious of our media-driven mindset. We kind of, it's not happening to us directly. We put it off like it's happened to somebody else, but we still feel it. But every time we accept it, not even accept it, just analyze it and let it sink in a little bit. Say, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, and then try to get by the cognitive dissonance of the flashbang, which is thrown at you by this totally terrible thing somebody did. It is against all our rights. It's against everything we should ever accept as American. But yet we let it happen. And while you're thinking about it, and more time expires, then you kind of grow numb to it. When you grow numb to it, it's a time they can do more. And I just think that this is an awful, awful thing, man. We can't let this happen to us, man. We can't. We fought a revolutionary war to make sure this didn't happen, to get away from just a king putting a percent or two T-tax on us. And now we're going to go and let this happen to us and just snatch people off the street and people in unmarked vans and masks on their face. No, it's bullshit, man. Don't let it happen.
We didn't win that war, man. We've been paying taxes back to England ever since. They just allowed us to do the experiment. They say, go, you know what? You want to be, you want to be free. You want the Constitution? Okay, go ahead. Just give us our money. Because George Washington not accepting the crown was a ritual. He was a ritual.
He was a Freemason, definitely. This Masonic ritual. He wore the freaking apron.
Dude, there's the George Washington Masonic Memorial, and if you go into it, there's the Royal Arch Room, and in there they have a copy of the Ark of the Covenant, but it's unlike any that you'll see at any Trump rally, at Mar-a-Lago, in any movie. It's actually a biblically accurate version of the Ark, unlike the one that you see that had Trump paraded around with him, right? That was built for his events. It was basically a ripoff of the Indiana Jones meme one. If you look closer at that one, it's got the it's not angels on top. It's actually because its arms are its wings. It's basically ISIS on the one that Trump had at his Mar-a-Lago. And if you go to the George Washington Masonic Memorial, he has, like I said, in the Royal Arch Room, they have a different
well, do you know what happens in the ritual if you take the crown, right?
Right. Yeah, they kill you.
That's right.
Exactly.
Exactamundo.
Yes.
So you never tell a lie, and that's the truth.
They're deists, right?
It's in the microcosm. It's Ground Zero Plus. We're here every Friday night immediately following Clyde Lewis and the boys. And we'll be here tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Pacific, Illuminati. Come into the inner sanctum and chill with the rest of us. Because we like to chill on Saturday nights. I think we were chill last Saturday night. But I don't know how chill we'll be tomorrow night because I didn't get into the stuff that I brought for tonight. And it's a patent that I found. And we'll get into it tomorrow night, but there you go. It's into the microcosm. You guys there?
Yes, sir.
We've got about 30 minutes left before we got to...
Yeah, I am. I've seen somebody, I'll bring up in a second, talk about Bob Dylan. And, okay, so Karen Carpenter's talking about Bob Dylan. Somebody else is talking about Bob Dylan. So this is in the chat on YouTube for people who want to go back and listen later and watch it. But the idea is, I had this conversation with my uncle, who's a musician, professional musician for 30 years. He played, for a living. That's what he did for 30 plus years before he bought a video store in Las Vegas. And he never understood that how does it feel like a Rolling Stone is about a girl brought into prostitution. Now, did I read that wrong or did he? So for the audience today, go back and look at the lyrics. What do you think?
Well,
it starts with the guy and goes to the girl, but it goes about the big tall hat and all that stuff.
Pull up the lyrics real quick.
Okay.
It's into the microcosm. It's Ground Zero Plus. Seven 8711 831 is the area code. Epic Journeyman, were you successful?
I was, and I think I'm absolutely right. So the idea is about a girl who grew up rich, ran away, and became a prostitute. That's what the song is about. So, do you guys want to hear why I think that?
Go ahead and read the lyrics.
So here's the lyrics. So once upon a time, you dressed so fine, through the burns of dime in your prime, didn't you? People say beware, doll, you're bound to fall. You thought they were kidding you. You used to laugh about it. Everybody thought that was hanging out. Now you don't talk so loud. Now you don't seem so proud about having to scrounge around for your next meal. How does it feel to be without a home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? So this is her running away and realizing that she doesn't have the backup, right? She's not a prostitute yet. Oh, you've gone down here we go. This is back to the lyrics. Oh, you've gone to the finest schools. All right, Miss Lonely. But you only used to get juiced in it. Nobody ever taught you how to live out on the street. And now you're going to have to get used to it. You say you never compromise with the mystery tramp, but now you realize he's not telling any alibis as you stare in the vacuum of his eyes and say, do you want to make a deal? This is her pimp, right? This is her pimp making the proposition. That's me analyzing this. How does it feel? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction home, a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? Next verse. Oh, you never turned around to see the frowns on the jugglers and the clowns when they all did tricks for you. You never understood that it ain't no good. You shouldn't let other people get your kicks for you. You used to ride a chrome horse with your diplomat. You carried on his shoulder a Siamese cat. Ain't it hard when you discovered that you really wasn't where it's at after he took from you everything he could steal? Now I interject. The pimp, right? How does it feel to be on your own with no direction home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? Ah, princess, on a steeple and all the pretty people, they're all drinking, thinking they got it made, exchanging all precious gifts. But you better take your diamond ring. You better pawn it, babe. You used to be so amused at Napoleon and Riggs and the language that he used. Go to him. He calls you. Me interjected again. He's the pimp, right? You can't refuse. When you ain't got nothing, you got nothing to lose. You're invisible now. You got no secrets to conceal. How does it feel? Ah, how does it feel to be on your own with no direction home, like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? That's Epstein's secret right there. That's what he did to those girls. That's exactly it. That's the wonderful secret in that memo.
I want to buy some crack.
I know, right? Yeah, no, it's talking about his life on the street, right, with the pimp. That's exactly what this is.
That's definitely not how I see it, but
okay. Well, how do you see it? So I'm definitely welcome to their
I
interpretation.
mean, to me, it's a story about somebody that had something, and they lived a certain life, and then at some point they didn't have what they had anymore. And they had to come to terms with, how things were in the past and how they were and now where they are in life, being without the things that they had or they were used to before.
That's what I thought too, until I listened to it more. And I thought, no, what Bob Dylan's saying right there is a pimp converting the woman from what she was, basically a girl from a rich home. And making her a complete unknown. That's what he's saying. Well, yeah, I don't think there's a way to interpret it. So to me, was I read it through.
So in this time of revolution, you came from a wealthy family. You want to be a hippie. They could sit there and take away your inheritance or whatever. So you throw you out on the street, and now you don't have what you had before, and no one has to do anything. You don't get the same treatment. It's like I had a friend. He weighed about almost 400 pounds. And the dude lost the weight. And he got all ripped and shit. And he was like Moda Italia, man. He was look real good.
Nice.
I mean, he made it into an interview with Calvin Klein. That's the level of, his looks. But the point is that when he was overweight, he got treated a certain way. And when he lost the weight and now he was good looking, he had a whole thing of how people treated him now as opposed to how they treated him before. See?
Well, yeah. So it's the inverse of what we're describing here. Like, so we're talking about a girl going from a life of not leisure necessarily, but of having
everybody's kissing
wealth. Everybody's kissing her ass basically.
Kissing her ass.
Exactly. And then going to the lower class and understanding how it feels, right? But it's a big top hat and scrounge for your next meal and it's turned into a prostitute. To me, absolutely, that's what it is. Is it or is it not? I think when we look at the lyrics, it can be interpreted multiple ways, which makes it a great song. All great songs have that in common,
831-337-8711. Give us a call. Let us know what you think. What do you think? Is it about a prostitute? What do you think? 831-337.
It's about becoming a
8711.
prostitute. Yeah.
So, S90, are you still there?
Yeah, sure, I'm Jimmy.
What are you thinking now? Are you going down the same road as the Epic Journeyman?
With the song,
you
I've never
skipping?
actually heard the song.
You never heard the song?
No, I never heard this song. Honestly, I'm very picky with my music. Honestly, so I don't have a lot to say on it. I'm very uneducated when it comes to music and musicians and musical history and stuff like that.
Well, let me see.
Sorry to disappoint.
Let me
see if I
elaborate
can
some.
dig
So,
it
so
up.
basically, at the time the song came out, this was not something that people talked about. Like, people didn't talk about prostitutes and life on the street back in 1960, whatever, right? 65 or whatever it was. So when the song came out, it was kind of encrypted, right? Only those in the know would know what it meant. Now, 60 years later, 60 years, hard to believe, isn't it? We go back and look at it and say, well, yeah, obviously. She's talking about her pimp. She's talking about, all these things that happened to her when she sold herself out, basically, which, again, ties in this whole Epstein ideal in a way to me. But I thought it was, to me, I just always thought this was a song about that. But maybe that's because I'm weird, I guess. But I never thought it was anything different than that. It was interesting to me to hear my uncle, who played the song live, like he played it back in the 60s when it was a live song, because he was a performing musician. I mean, that was his gig. That was his gig, right? So he never thought that. And I thought, how could you not think that? Like, listen to the lyrics, right? That's absolutely what it is.
Sin of the microcosm. Live from Newport, 1965. Here's Bob Dylan with Like a Rolling Stone.
I'm already getting these vibes, like creepy.
Once upon a time, you dressed so fine, through the bumps of dime in your prime. Then people call, saying beware, doll, you're bound to fall. You thought they were all in you.
See? You got the call. Pride goeth before the fall, man.
You used to laugh about everybody that was hanging out. Now you don't talk so loud. Now you don't seem so proud about having to be scrounging your next meal. How does it feel? How does it feel?
Is this when Bob went electric? I can't tell. When did Bob go electric?
No, hold on. It is. Stop it for a second. That's exactly what my uncle said. Because my uncle was the rock musician guy making a living playing rock music back in the 60s, 70s, right? He was saying, yeah, everyone's pissed because this is the moment that Dylan went electric. That's exactly what he said. So interesting you caught that.
Yeah, here he comes.
Like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone.
Your papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left you was alone.
Are you gone to the
There's a lot of Rolling Stone songs. I think there's Rolling Stone singing Like a Rolling Stone with Bob Dylan in Brazil.
That was the biggest concert in history, actually.
Was it?
And Rod Stewart, yeah, with him, then with Rod Stewart, yeah. That was over 1 million people on the beach in Brazil. Yep. Rio de Janeiro, yeah. I just learned that the other day, actually. It's like I have a lot of popular knowledge and quaint facts that nobody ever paid attention to. Like I'm like the trivia master about these kind of things, but I never heard that one before. And I was surprised by that. Yeah, that was it was over 1 million people on the beach.
831-337-8711 is the number to call if you want to join us real quick. Well, there it went, S90. What did you think? Is it going to make it on your playlist?
No, it's not my kind of music. It sounds, I get weird vibes from it. It's like he's, like Karen said it in chat, Pied Piper. That was like, I got Pan vibes from it. Like he was trying to play like a melody and sort of lure people. I just get a weird vibe from that. It sounds,
He says that later in life. He does, man. He does.
Well, there you go.
He's got to pay the piper. Yeah, he does. He's got to pay. What is it called? The man. And what do you mean the man? And he doesn't say the Pied Piper. He says, what does he say? It's in the Sold to Souls from Rock and Roll, the video. Yeah, no, it's bizarre, man. And he has his empty eyes when he does it. And yeah, he's old. Maybe he's got cataracts. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, it just happens to fit this narrative. And man, yeah, I'm not thrilled by what he had to say, man. It sounds like he's like he's sold out, man. It does.
It just sounds like this weird kind of. I can't describe the music. It almost sounds like a childish tune. And I am not trying to be insulting or deprecating at all, but like it sounds like the instruments that kind of like the very tinny and poppy sounding instruments that kind of attract children almost. I know it sounds silly.
Piperish, yeah. Well, exactly. Well, but the thing is, like he was a street musician, so I mean, the difference between him and Charlie Manson is minuscule. I mean, honest to God, dude. I'm not
that's
kidding
terrifying.
about that.
Yeah.
That's a big statement.
No, it's not. It's not. The difference is so small. Like they're both the same thing, right? Playing guitars in the street.
Yeah, it's just all they were character actors, and Dylan made it. I mean, that's it.
Oh, okay. So it was almost like tryouts, and one made it, and the other got relegated to the MK Ultra program.
Yeah, there's like, hey, well, listen, we got another job for you. Here's a black credit card. Meet us out at this ranch. We'll see you there.
Interesting.
All right. Well, 831-337-8711 is the number to call to get in on this deep conversation about the lyrics of Like a Rolling Stone. I guess we could ask them in the chat. They could vote. You could have them vote in the chat. You want me to have people vote in the chat?
Let's see what they got to say.
Put a 1 in there if you agree with Epic Journeyman. You think it's the story of a prostitute and a pimp. Or put number 2 in there if you think it's something else. Let's see what happens. Hey, it's good to see Martin in the chat. What's happening, Martin? Good to see you, Doug. Haven't seen you in a while. Jaren's over there. Flippy's over there. Karen's over there. Vin's over there. S90's over there. Amber, too. Hello. GB Chest Powder. Vin, what's going on? Yeah. All right. 831-337-8711. Hey, Kyle. Good to see you. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Barb. What's up, Ronan? Hey, Chris. Alright, it's getting late. It's been a long week, and I was sitting here just watching the chat go by, and I didn't realize I was letting the song play on and on and on and on. You ever wonder why George Nori lets the songs play for so long on Coast to Coast? Let me let you in on a little secret. When there's music playing, it means you ain't talking. So George Nori lets it play out as long as he possibly can. So just all right, there we go.
George Nori's making that big money though to push all that stuff. So
well, no, I'm
he
just
gets paid
saying
to sit there and do nothing.
No, that's what I mean. He does. He knows. He knows that if he lets the caller talk on and on and on, what does that mean? He doesn't have to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
If he lets a guest run on and on and on and never ask a question, guess what that means? He doesn't have to talk. He could just sit there all night and just narrow it down. How many hours is he on? 3 hours? He probably...
I think so. Maybe 4, actually.
He probably talks for 20 minutes total in the whole 3 hours.
You got your gold ads. You got your survival food ads.
I'm just teasing. So Epic Journey.
No, I mean, you gotta have a go bag, man. You gotta have a go bag.
It truly is a formula, though. Conspiracy has become formulaic in a lot of ways.
Oh, totally.
You gotta follow the crowd to kind of make it in that way.
Oh, hey, did I miss Linda in the chat? Didn't I call you out, Linda? I'm sorry.
How could you, Jimmy?
Hi, Linda.
Yeah,
we won't forget about you. Come on now.
I know you and Epic ought to get together over on Maui. Go for a walk.
I'm here.
There you go. See?
Yeah. Well, I'm almost always here. I mean, here on the Big Island, trying to fix my jungle hut up. But
it's a match made in heaven, potentially. You never know.
Who knows?
It can happen. It happened to me. You never know. You might meet somebody.
I'm thinking of the Yes song. It could happen to you, right?
You can fight the nanobots together.
Yeah. All right. Listen. Tomorrow night it is the Chilluminati. Come on back, and we will get into what I didn't get into tonight. A patent that I found. You'll find it interesting. I mean, there's a correlation between some of these things are all coming together under this one. And I got a giant... You won't believe this list of patents that I found. There's a list that's probably got about 200 patents on it, and every single one of them has to do with being a targeted individual. It's intense. Not that I'm going to bring it out here tomorrow night. Well, maybe I will. I don't know. I just don't want to end up being a targeted individual because I'm talking about it. Which is what happens to people that talk about that too much. So you got to be careful. You're not playing games or whatever.
Yeah, it's not tea time. You're not talking about things that everybody already knows about now, like Kennedy or HARP.
Yeah.
Feels like everybody's been indoctrinated to a certain degree with their conspiracy, You know, everybody's got a little bit of conspiracy in them now. It's spread.
Well, there was
through
no
the society.
MLK, and Kennedy killed himself. That's
Right. And then
him and Epstein had a suicide pact.
Yeah, Ghislaine's in jail for nothing. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys, it's time to go.
With Maryland, so Maryland was the original Ghislaine, and then
We'll see you tomorrow night.